now we're running. Let's go. Train's about to go off the tracks. If I were you, I'd climb aboard. Train's about to go off the tracks. If I were you, I'd climb aboard. It's Tuesday and we've got the engines kicking. It's Tuesday night and Willie's gonna spread the wisdom. We've got the microphones on and the headphones pumping. The train leaves station, now we're running. Let's go. This train is about to go off the tracks. If I were you, I'd climb aboard. Let's go.
The Night Train with Willie and Bits on WX8BK.
If I were you, I would think about climbing on board.
This is the Night Train. Welcome aboard, folks. Time to find yourself a place to be, get yourself a cozy place, and settle in and climb aboard the Night Train. As usual, don't worry about purchasing a ticket because the ride is always on us. Opening track tonight was created by AI by yours truly, just for fun, because why not? It wasn't the remix that Willie wanted, but, you know, we're going to get to that very, very, very soon. And my name is Bits. I am one of your hosts this evening. Hosting with me tonight is a guy I can't do this without, Mr. One Wheel Willie. How you doing, man?
They call me the Remix Kid.
The remix kid. Does it have to be just like that? Kid.
Yeah, of
Okay,
course.
right.
It's gotta be
Remix
just like that.
kid.
The Kid.
Fantastic. It was funny when we were reworking that one. I think it was that one. Maybe it wasn't that one, but when we were reworking that one, I ran out of credits and I was like, "Fuck." So I got it saved, and you know, when I want to cough up the $8, I'll do it. But anyways, it was total fun. As I did say, folks, you have joined us here on the Night Train. We are here every Tuesday night at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific for your listening pleasure, interviewing artists about the art and the journey and everything that falls in between. Tonight we will be having BLVCKLIGHT as our guest artist this evening. It'll be a new one for Willie and a new one for myself. This will be very, very fun. We're excited to get to know this new artist that is in our radar. Next week we will be back here with Paul, who is a ghost, will be our guest next week. And then following that on October 1st, we're going to have Lawrence Fuller going to be hitting us up. So we got lots coming down the pipeline, down the tracks, if you would, here on the Night Train. So make sure you do come back and join us. And, of course, you can always head over to WX8BK.com, and you can get linked over to our YouTube channel, and you can check out a lot of our archived episodes that we have with some really, really fine artists that we've had in the past. Like, and you know, Paul, who's a ghost, and BLVCKLIGHT will be up there when we have them on. It's going to be an amazing thing. What you got going on, Willie? How you been this last week?
Just busy still, man. Just so busy. Just no time for art.
Right? Tell me about it. You know, it's really funny that you say that, and I know you've been busy with work, and, well, you got the family as well, too. You're a busy guy. We're all busy. Everybody's busy all the time. But literally today, I've said it kind of jokingly in the last little bit, but today I was sitting out on the patio, and I was like, well, it's kind of that shift over season for us here up in the Great White North, and I just kind of want winter to fucking jump in here and just settle in so that I can have more time to do shit in the house, like art and crap like that. Because I mean, it's a good problem to have when it's nice out and beautiful out. Of course, I fucking go outside, and that's, you know, my biggest problem right now. I don't want to be sitting in front of a computer or doing anything else that involves inside. But yeah, more time, hey, more time. I wonder if Uncle Elon,
Time would be good.
maybe Uncle Elon can give us more time.
I don't think that's how that works, but
Well, I don't know.
unless like maybe the rotation of Mars is unbeknownst to me as to whether it has more time on the more time in its days. I don't know.
Fuck, that means we gotta move to Mars?
Well, I mean, that would be the only way that it would work, right?
I hear it's hot. I don't know. You deal with it. You might be able to live there, I guess.
No, man, it's finally like 70 here. I'm like, whew,
Oh, there you
nice,
go.
finally nice.
Oh, wow. Are you out in shorts airing it out?
Shorts. I'm always in shorts.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, just making sure.
Yeah,
Well, just making
oh,
sure.
yeah.
Maybe you wear some kind of crazy cooling space NASA fucking suit or something like that.
I'm ready to put my sweatshirt, my sweatshirts on. Let's put it that
Ooh,
way.
I'd be there. I'd be there, like thinking that's crazy. Um,
Shorts and a
yeah.
hoodie, man. Ooh, it's the best.
Yeah, no, it is. That's if when I come to visit you in like one of these times in February or March. That's how I'm coming. That's how I'm rolling out there, man. The
Oh,
hoodie,
you'll probably still be in a wife beater.
wife
You know,
beater.
like tank top. Like
No,
you can't say wife beater anymore, can you?
well, I was gonna say
You probably be wearing a tank top still. Be like, whew, it's fucking hot, bro.
I don't think I wouldn't put people through that. Not me wearing a tank top. But yeah, yeah, no, exactly. I'd be up there going, "Fuck, this hoodie's a bit much. It's after 9 a.m. I'm gonna have to take it off." All right. As we were saying, we interview great artists about the art and the journey here on the Night Train, and we also gotten into a little bit of a collaboration with a lot of the artists who have been on friends of the show in the past. We call it our collab funnel. If you're not aware of it, you can head over to WX8BK.com and you can get linked over to our object page, or you can head to object and just look for us there. It's WX8BK, and look for the collab funnel collection. We have been very fortunate that quite a few really amazing artists have jumped on board with this collaboration. We've had Iteration, Fendel and Shilly Preston. Ryan Annette has also been working with us. Texadelic did a drop. We just did one with pardon me, was it killing me? Jay Byrne and Pop Lazarus as well, which is a really great drop, and that's over half sold out. So you might want to go over there and check it out. Do head over there, check it out, see if you find something that you really like. Maybe there's something there you didn't know existed yet. Maybe you'll find yourself a new artist that you like. And we are halfway through, right, Willie, of our drops?
No,
No, just about.
no.
Oh.
We should have been because I should have got this month's done for today,
But we're close.
but I didn't get that done last weekend. So, but we're close. The next drop will be halfway through.
Oh, there you go. Well, I think we can call it. Okay, so we're very, very, very close to
almost
halfway
halfway
through.
through.
Almost halfway
Okay.
through. Okay, no, I appreciate that too. You don't want any false information going out there. The next drop. Fuck, I was just going to say who is the next drop, but I guess we're going to still keep that a secret.
No, I think we could say it's that pinball guy we're gonna do next.
Yeah. What? That pinball guy. I'm excited for this one. This one's been sitting fucking. We've known about this one for ages. It's been done for a long time. He finished this very early on in the drops. I'm excited for it. I mean, that pinball guy is an amazing creator. His pieces are fabulous. Also, been a past guest on the show. You can go and find the old archived show on YouTube at our WX8BK YouTube page. Is that what we call it? Is it a page? Do you go to the YouTube page? I don't know. I sound like an old guy there.
Channel. YouTube's a channel.
Yes. Yeah, there you go. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right.
Subscribe to my channel. Hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel.
And that's right. I knew that. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie here. I did partake in the Dynavap, and I've had one glass of wine already. So
You are breaking up as well.
am I breaking up?
Yep.
Really? I don't even know what to say about this anymore. Is it just me?
No, it's whatever. It's something you're using, man. I don't know.
I change cords. I change batteries. I give up. I don't even know what to say anymore. Okay. Well, at least I have you to run the show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know how well I do when you put me on the spot like that too.
Well,
I start panicking about dead air.
we'll figure it out. It makes for a more interesting show. Well, that sucks. Well, I just don't get it. I don't know what I can do differently. I even bought new fucking cords. Well, I showed you my Amazon box, right? When I did that freaking giant Amazon box for my little itty bitty iPhone connector.
It's like mostly okay. It's almost like it's clipping at the very end of the sentence. Like you're like it's a background noise filter or something that's clicked on, that's clipping the end of a sentence. Like it's cutting you off just short enough.
It's what it is. It's probably a hint that bits should talk less, maybe. Two less words every time. All right. Okay, well, we'll do the best that we can. Collab funnel, yes. Tear for Fez, Fear for Tez. The Fear for Tez event put on by Teztown happened last weekend. They had a really good turnout, 391 mints for the Fear for Tez. Lily White mentioned, I think she mentioned this morning how much money they had donated as well. But I can't quite recall that number, and I'm not even going to make one up in my head. So still been looking out through those pieces. Willie and I are going to do a little bit of a curation up, pick some nice ones for the curation. Now that we got a nice list, I'll have to check that out. It was a good event. It's a great event. I did not finish my piece. That was part of my getting mad about Winter not being here and not wanting to be in the house because I was too busy this weekend. I've determined I've wanted to change my spare bedroom into a studio slash place where somebody could sleep if they have to, if they come and visit. But I've been postponing that because I haven't bought a new bed for in there yet. And now I've just determined I'm just going to turn it into a studio. And that's it. I need a studio.
There you go.
It's very important. It's very important. So
Studio it is.
Studio it is, right? Fancy, because we got big budgets over here in the night train. All right, okay. If everybody doesn't mind retweeting out the space, as per usual, Paul, who is a ghost, is in the room. That was the one thing that I almost thought of when Paul brought our attention to our guest tonight. And I was like, it'll really piss me off if this guest unmutes and it's fucking Paul. Right?
He just wanted to double up.
Right?
He's 2 weeks in a row.
He doesn't have enough on his plate that he wants to double up night train spaces.
He's not doing enough already.
Right? No, just kidding. Okay. I don't have anything else that I want to bring up. I don't have anything else in the docket. Willie, you got anything else going on in the news? Anything you wanted to bring up before we move on?
After over 3 years, Greg Mike's collection, PFP collection, is finally going live this Saturday.
Oh, God.
No, Friday. I think it's Friday. Friday's the 20th, right? The 20th.
I didn't know
that's
that.
finally going live on ETH, 0.11 ETH. If there's any available after all the whitelists are burned out, it's down to a collection of 1,770. You can burn for one of ones on wood, basically. Acrylic on wood at that point, which I don't think he's never done. He's basically never done one of one physicals like that before. So pretty unique for him, for his collection and stuff. So that's something I've been stoked on since it was announced 3 fucking years ago. So after this, I can finally put my ETH wallet to bed and not ever have to touch it again, hopefully. But yeah,
I didn't know about
what
that.
else is going on in the world.
That's amazing. I didn't know about that because I'm on his mailer and I get the friggin' text messages whenever he drops something. But I did not know that was coming out this week. You figure that would have been like, but I guess I'm not a whitelister though either. So.
Well, I've got 2 extra whitelist spots. So, if I don't think I can give them away or anything, but if somebody wants me to
You can be
buy one
persuaded.
for them, basically at price or whatever.
That's interesting. I mean, those are going to be hard to get. I mean, even the whitelisters, because the whitelisters are just going to crawl all over that, right? Is there a limit for the whitelisters, or can they probably can buy as many as they want, right? Did you say?
No, there's no limit for whitelisters.
Okay. And did you say it was 1,700 total, or was it 1,700 total? 17.
Yeah,
something?
1770.
Right. Wow. Cool.
I think that's the number.
He was up here 2 weeks ago, I think it was, in Toronto, painting a wall at a festival. Man, that would have been swarthy of flying out there for. I mean, I could have visited with him, or not visited with him. I could have went and checked out what he was doing. Not that I don't know Greg Mike, but I also could have visited like Acid and like hung out over there. Like that would have been sweet. Maybe could have coerced Proteon to come visit too, because he's in that neck of the woods as well. Interesting. Cool. All right. That's pretty big. Greg Mike does great work. That's facts. All right. Well, all right then. Let's cut to the chase. And, I guess we can't ask our guest to unmute since we haven't even invited our guest up yet. They're a bunch of dicks. Unmute yourself. You're not going to unmute yourself? Fine. Get the hell out of here. Am I
Fine.
still? So is it the last words that are always cutting out still?
No, you're okay for the
All
moment.
right. I was just kind of thinking I would just cut out the last word of every sentence I had. Maybe that would work. Maybe. No, I don't know. Alrighty, folks. Time to bring up our guest of honor on the night train tonight. This artist was brought to our attention by Paul, who is a ghost. And Paul, who is a ghost, did all of the finagling. So any money that Blacklight or receives or doesn't receive is not Willie and I's fault. So I'll just have to put that disclaimer out there. I'd like to welcome up to the space. You can unmute yourself now. Our guest, Blacklight, or you're going to tell us that we say your name differently.
Hey guys, it's actually Paul.
Oh,
Just kidding. Yeah, Blacklight's fine.
Awesome. I was really, dude. Actually, the second thing that I thought might happen is you're going to come up and go, "No, it's light." Right?
Yeah, no.
Right on. Cool. Well, thank you very much for thanks very much for coming to hang out with us tonight. I'm pretty stoked to have you.
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah, you're really. I mean, as far as the Twitter scene goes, as Blacklight, I don't know if you have any other alter egos, but you're pretty relatively new on the Twitter scene, yeah.
Yeah, I just started. I think in like June.
Wow.
On here, yeah.
Fresh. Were you a Twitter user in any way, shape, or form before June?
I was like years ago, but I just like after I think like 2020, I just wasn't on it anymore.
Sure.
I just found it too toxic. People just fighting all the time. I just like having some peace around me and not trying to, argue with people online. I don't know. I just don't care that much,
That's kind of weird because that's when like a ton of people came back to Twitter
Yeah.
after being away for so long. So
Yeah.
Cool. Well, if you don't mind, I'll put you a little bit on the spot.
Sure.
Can you introduce yourself to us?
Yeah,
And
my name is
people listening?
Blacklight. I work during the day. Just started this kind of as a hobby back in April, and then just really kind of fell in love with the process. I've been kind of an artist off and on like through my whole life. I took kind of a 20-year break, and then found kind of AI and just started messing with it, and the floodgates kind of opened, and it's been like a creative whirlwind ever since.
So you
Working.
go ahead.
I'm out in Portland. I work in tech during the day. I do marketing, like lead generation. Super boring. So I needed like a creative outlet because I was getting burnt out.
Boring old marketing.
Yeah.
So what kind of art? You said you've kind of been doing art your whole life, kind of thing. So what kind of art were you doing before you got into AI?
So I used to do a lot of photography and painting, and then mixed medium art. So I did photography. I mean, that was like an interesting when I was a kid. My parents used to get me a camera, and I lived by the beach, so I was always going to the beach at like sunrise and sunset, and just trying to find like some peaceful shots. And that's kind of been the thing my whole life, is just trying to find a place to ground and just center myself, kind of block out all the noise around me.
Okay, cool.
Sorry.
Yeah.
So you dropped out of it. You said for about 20 years.
Yeah, I just I started following my career. I was like, I'm not going to make any money doing art, and then I was like, I got to just get into a better financial sense. I graduated college. It was like around the recession in 2000, early 2000s. So it was kind of a tough time to work and come up and come of age, and just got more serious on my career. And as things go, as you get older, they just kind of go on the back burner. And then I just wanted to try to get back into it. I just always had like a lot of creativity. I just really didn't have a way to express it or have the time to. Painting's messy. I move around a lot, so it's kind of hard to just be painting and have paint everywhere and all this other stuff. So it just wasn't something that I was kind of interested in.
So now, when you say you move around a lot, do you mean physically move from
Yeah,
house
I
to
used to
house?
travel
Or...
like coast to coast. I'm from the East Coast. I live on the West Coast.
Oh, okay.
Been on the East Coast. It's fun out there. I have friends kind of all over. I was one of those people, sowed my oats in my 20s, partied hard, sex, drugs, and rock and roll.
Woo!
And yeah, just enjoyed my 20s and started getting more serious in my 30s in my career. And then I got to a point where I was like, I don't have any creative outlet. I need something that I can like produce something.
Yeah.
So that's how I got into this.
Right.
And then the technology is just, even since I've been in it, has like just jumped and skyrocketed and leaps and bounds. And there's some days where I'm just like completely impressed with just like what can be done. Like any idea that I throw out there, I'm like, it won't be able to do this. No, it can do it. It can make it. If you can think about it, it can make it, which is like totally insane to think about.
It's so crazy. Like for anybody that's, I mean, if anybody grew up like, I mean, I was a kid of the 80s. So I mean,
Yeah.
when technology started to come in, like your Commodore 64s and shit, I was like, oh, this is really cool. But of course, it was all painfully slow. But we didn't know that at the time.
Right.
And then Atari came out, right? And we all lived Atari, ColecoVision, or whatever that you may have played on. And then there was just that time in the 90s, man, where like shit went through the roof. And today, like it with all of this technology today, it's exponential. Like it's like you go to sleep and you go to sleep and you wake up in the morning, it's like, oh, everything's different. It's like shit.
Yeah, every day in AI world is like a month. So if you make it a week, you've survived a year. Because I feel like the changes and updates are happening like almost every day. I mean, what Luma and Runway just dropped their APIs yesterday. There was Gen 48 over the weekend. I mean, that's just 3 days, and you have like so many people in the community engaged, so kind of all in the same areas, and just making leaps and bounds technologically. And there's so much creativity that's getting unlocked right now, and people's stories that they've never been able to tell or visualize are being able to tell those stories, and they're not gatekept by Hollywood or any sort of like production company. You can just go online and find amazing people creating just the most awesome stories. I'm inspired like every day. I look forward to getting online now, like kind of when the internet first started, because there's so much creativity and there's so many different facets of it, and people are creating so many different things. It's fascinating every day. I love it.
You've definitely I mean, we know we have a lot of friends that do AI. We're definitely see a lot of it in a day if you're hanging out on Twitter and checking things out in the art world, and like your stuff, you're definitely, I've noticed. Well, lately some of the things you've been dropping, like you're really like evolving the storytelling, and through some of the people that follow you, I've been clicking around and really finding people that are actually starting to really paste all this stuff together and extend it and get like some amazing outcomes from it that are actually turning into like crazy, like it's production.
Yeah.
On it. Nuts.
Yeah, it's a lot of work. I mean, I'm even now, I mean, every day I try to have, kind of my overall brand, I guess. I think of it where my motivation comes from for like my I don't even want to call it style. It's a brand, I guess. Is I always think back of when I was younger. I used to love coming home from school. I would go in my room. My dad had those old black lights, or those purple UV lights.
Hell
He
yeah.
hung them up in my room and gave me all these black light posters when I was really, really young. Never didn't know anything, about any like counterculture or anything. And I remember just going in there and listening to music after school. They wouldn't force us to like do homework until later, but like really get a moment to just like kind of unwind. And ever since then, I've never had that same like just sensory reset, and I just wanted that experience in kind of like all of my videos. And so that's kind of my motivation for what I create. So in that, I just have the freedom to try anything, photorealism, animation, anything I'm just feeling that day. I'm like, I want to create this today, and I just do it, and it's so much fun.
Absolutely. I can definitely hear the passion in your voice and the excitement for sure. I love it. And it's great to see the stuff that I'm happy that you're sharing some of the stuff that's going on as well, that you're creating. We'll definitely stick around with this, but I wanted to get back a little bit. So when you were younger and in school, was like, into marketing, right now?
I'm in marketing, yeah.
Was that
I
the
initially
dream?
didn't go to school for that. I was really kind of like a science and math nerd. And then I just got into a place in college. I had some family troubles that happened. My father was getting pretty ill. And so I was traveling a lot back and forth between college and home. So I really didn't have the focus and drive to like go into more sciences as I wanted to. So I went into marketing, kind of advertising. I thought, the dreams of working at an ad agency and coming up with cool ideas and stories, well, like always intrigued me. Little did I know now I work in that field, and it's nothing like that at all. clicks and retention, and it's just a totally different world now than what people think. So it's a lot of data, which is kind of boring.
What a letdown.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm like, I hate this. I need to do something that's more fun.
um,
I feel like that's every job though. Like
Right.
every
Yeah,
job, every career, you're like you think it's gonna be this big grandiose thing, and then you're like, oh no, it's pretty boring actually.
yeah,
You know, unless you're a quarterback in the NFL, I guess. I mean, that's the only one that where you're like, no, it is being a quarterback.
yeah.
that's right. Willie, when Willie and I get the money, and then this goes like we're on Sirius XM with the fucking with the night train, we'll be like, oh, this, this is so much like a job. This is not what we
Yeah,
thought it
really,
would be.
really, it's just a day-to-day grind.
Howard Stern, you fucking liar.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
Right? Um, when you were creating, what you talked about, you've mentioned painting quite a few times. When you were creating, in your early days of art, was that your go-to, or were you all over the place?
That was kind of my go-to. I can't draw for shit, so painting you can do a little bit like broader strokes with it. And I didn't have, I have some decent levels of anxiety, so I have shaky hands. And so for me to draw or do anything that's like precision based is kind of very hard, and really frustrating. So that was kind of the hardest part for me, to be an artist and like not be able to produce the thing. To get frustrated, I can't produce the things that I see in my head at the level that gives me that dopamine release. And there's something about AI art that I don't know if it's a little bit of the surprise of the animations that you get when you're creating something, the concept of telling a story, but there is a level of thrill to that, because you can, if you take the time with it and are really specific, you can create essentially anything you want, anything that's in your head. You can create it to a level that it is like a dopamine release.
So we might have to have an intervention with you in the future, right?
Maybe I
Yeah.
might be addicted, guys.
It's too much. God damn it! The intervention you never thought you were going to see, and here it is. Oh,
So
cool.
did like how long have you known about AI art, and like did you jump on it pretty early in
No, at all. And I think sometimes people get upset because there seems to be like in the community like a level of you need to show reverence for the people that came before, and I'm just not that type of person. Who, even in my own organization, my company, like I have team members, I don't ever look at their as like a hierarchy, right? And so while I appreciate the work that people have done before, like I don't owe them anything, nor do they owe me anything. And I think it's a community that it's built on top of each other. And props to the people that have taken the time to do really the complicated, very difficult, very technical work. But I was actually inspired like about a year ago from Ave Alter's Capital of Calamity series. I saw it randomly on social media one night, like 1 in the morning, and I was like, "What is this?" I was like, "How was this made?" I was like, "I need to figure this out." And then I had a roommate at the time who was very staunchly anti AI, and during the writer strike, we were like, he was very anti AI. And I was like, I need to understand what is happening here so that I can make a better and informed opinion on it. And as I got to understand it, my perception changed of what it was. It's not really that concept of like, you just press a button and hit go and you go and it makes whatever you want. It's very tedious and very time consuming, and I wanted to kind of get into that space and show a more artistic side of it, because frankly the tools are at a place with UI development that the barrier to entry is no longer just technical computer scientists that built the software and built all of these programs, but artistic people that can use the UI and interact with that to create art. So we're at that point now, and it's been building, but I think this generation of tools really unleashes a lot of the limitations of storytelling. And there are so many people that are just telling the most amazing stories
I like.
and stuff you've never seen. You know what I mean? Like things you would want to see on TV, but you can't because some suit said it's a little risky. You know what I mean? Like it allows for provocative content. It allows for thought provoking content. You can make something that it might be totally a dud to a studio. They would have spent millions of dollars, and you can make that at a fraction of the cost and a fraction of the time.
I do like how you touched on about how much work has to go in to get some of the outputs that people desire, right? Because I mean that's the ever since this whole AI battle has started, a couple of years ago, Willie and I have had many AI artists on here that are amazing, and I've always said like it's a tool. You need to know how to use it, and I muck around with it every once in a while. The opening track I played tonight was AI. It was like one of the easiest ones. Like it was like one of the simplest, most layman programs, but it takes time when you want to get especially visuals. I find are just like I've found like it's very, very hard. Like people think that, oh, you just say this and it comes out. No, it doesn't. You're going to have 9 legs and 12 of those people, and that guy over there is going to be hovering off the ground, like like yeah, no, it definitely takes some talent to have proper outcomes for sure. People
Yeah.
people be burning credits.
I'd be burning them for days. And that was the fun thing with this Gen 48 competition that everyone's kind of coming off the heels of. There's, I think, 3,000 teams, 3,500 participants. That's a lot of people all burning credits at the same time with different creative visions. And it was really, for me and my experience, was like a very strong self-assessment test where you can look at the skills that you've developed so far and see where your shortcomings are and where the technological shortcomings are of using just one product or one company. And it was like super interesting to see that many people ran into different types of struggles, whether it was content moderation and getting blocked from generating your image that might be not too controversial, to errors and just generating, to running out of time, to not finding the story, not getting the right generations, character consistency. So everyone had a little bit of a different struggle, and it's how you handle that situation in an emerging art form. I think a year from now, we're going to be seeing, it's not going to be AI art anymore. It's just going to be digital art, and it's going to be on TVs. It's going to be on social media. It already is taking over social media. So it's an exciting time.
Mm-hmm. Oh, for sure it is. It's definitely big. It's huge. I mean, as I said, some of the stuff that some of the videos that you've been putting out, and you're doing video and audio as well, right?
Correct. Yep.
Which is, I, I guess I haven't really chatted with a lot of our friends lately, but I mean, back in the earlier days, well, I mean, obviously, audio wasn't really AI option was not really an option quite yet. Like even like as of like a year ago, I guess, almost year and a half. So there wasn't very many people that were doing both at once, but you've dove deep into the two. How do you
Well, and
find?
let me express my ignorance here before you go on with this next question, Bits. Are you doing the audio and the visual in the same model, or are you
No,
taking them separately and
separately.
combining them?
So on any given day, I use anywhere between 3 to 6 different programs. Music is in one program, images are in 2 different programs, animations are in 3 different programs, and then I use editing software. I have 2 programs that I bounce back and forth for that, and then I have upscaling. So like every piece, from the image that gets animated to the animation to the music to the sound effects to the editing, the whole process I do myself, and I do a music video every day
Yeah,
at least. Yesterday, I think I did 3.
yeah,
So
that's bold.
can you walk us through your process a little bit more detailed? Just, I mean, not like super detailed, but as far as like okay, so you're getting the image first and then
Mm-hmm.
sending that into animation.
Yeah. So first, I'm creating the image. So if you want to know my process, first I wake and bake, and I get myself in the mood to not be stressed about anything else. I get in the zone, and then I start making some music. And then I kind of feel where the music's at. And then from there, as I'm listening to it, I start to just, I have a very active imagination, obviously. So I just imagine stories sometimes, and I'll just be sitting there and I'm like, oh, this would be funny. Like, what if we went down a rabbit hole and it was a rabbit hole city? And let's just make a whole rabbit hole city. And then like tonight, for example, I'm working on one, and I was like, what? I was testing this for the past couple of days. I'm like, what if I start layering videos and use a video to video model to create a different output with the same visual, and it creates more of a 3D effect. So tonight I'm working on like almost a 3D, like soft ethereal video, and then tomorrow I'll do like some weird robot heavy Eurotrance. I don't know, So it just kind of goes from the vibe, and I'll make those images, and I'll be, decide what they are, and then I'll go through a bunch of iterations of those and pick out the ones I like that I can tell a story with, and then I try to piece those images into a storyline, and then I animate all of that, and then I will throw that all into an editor while I'm still listening to the music on repeat like a fiend. And then I just start editing it and cutting it and making it fit into the song length. Most of the time, I end up with way too much video content, and I edit a lot out. So, like, I have today 2,000 images for one video, and I think I've only used maybe 40 of them, if that.
Okay.
But I do it every day, so I have this like routine now where it's just part of my process of like, I just get up and kind of go through the routine. It doesn't really take me too long. When I first started, it would take me, 4 hours to do a 1 minute video. Now I can do a 2 minute video in like 45 minutes.
Woo!
So are you actually producing a full video every day?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I do at least a full 2 minute video every day.
Oh, that's very cats will eat you.
Right? I know, totally.
A little
it is.
ambitious.
But you're doing it.
Well, you got another 15, 16 years or something to get there, but
Yeah.
I was gonna say, when I asked earlier about you moving around, I was kind of wondering, if you were actually moving around the country or if you're just one of those people that's just always constantly moving around. And I think it was both now, for sure.
Yeah, no, I've actually driven cross country 12 times through a
Holy
bunch of different
shit.
trips. So as I get older, I've obviously settled into the West Coast now. But when I was younger, I loved to just move around. It was so much fun I just wanted to enjoy it while I was young, and really enjoy what were some really great times in this country. And I think things have, the past couple of years, obviously post pandemic, have been like very hard for a lot of people. And I just want to bring a little bit of that peace and like fun back that I remember. And so I'm just trying to create that in my own little corner.
And kids, just what we got to remember, what we just need to take out of that last little segment here is that you need to wake and bake.
Live by it.
Live by it. There you go, right?
Yeah. Don't be afraid of it.
It doesn't work for me. I go right back to sleep.
Yeah.
That means you're sleepy and you need sleep.
There you go. Well, Willie's a dad and has a family, so yeah, Willie's always going to need sleep. Poor Willie. Poor Willie. Folks, just wanted to kind of give a little bit of a room reset here while we're hanging out, doing a little bit of wake and bake if you would like. Take a moment. You are listening to the Night Train broadcast here on WX8BK. We are here every Tuesday night at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. Tonight we are talking to Blacklight, an AI audio-visual artist that is doing daily music videos and some amazing stuff. And we're having a really great conversation. If you don't mind giving the room another little retweet out, we would appreciate that. Got a lot of fabulous folks in here, some friends of the show, some new faces. Thank you very, very much for being here. We do appreciate you all hanging out with us. Willie, I do want to mention that Fendel did DM me, and he's not in here tonight because he's going to get one more hiking trip done in the Pacific Northwest there before the snow flies. It's going to be cold tonight for him, but
All right.
I understand where he's coming from, though, man. Like it's like any day now, it'll happen at those high elevations. Shit will go down. All right. Well, back to our guest, Blacklight. You don't mint anything, right? You're not on any of the blockchains yet.
So I am actually. There was an auction about a week ago. I did a one of one. Paul, who was in here earlier, I think was the one to snag that.
Oh no shit!
I did a
Paul always
custom
does.
music video. Yeah, it went under the radar. I think he was messaging me. He's like, I think this is gonna get taken from me, and I was like, well, we'll see.
Did he encourage you to mint something?
There
or
were
was
other
it like
people
all
in
on
the
your own?
community that kind of that said that if I wouldn't do it, they were going to do it for me. So pick one that I wanted. Otherwise, they were going to pick one. So I was like, I have some crypto from a few years ago that have just been kind of sitting in cold storage. So I'm not really a stranger to the blockchain at all. It's you get your coins and then you just sit on them and you see what happens. Some people like to trade. I've collected them over the years for different projects and stuff, and so I just kind of be a dragon with my crypto and kind of hang on to whatever I get there and see it grow.
What chain did you mint on?
Tezos.
Okay, I figured as much when you said Paul, but
Yeah, and I have actually, I haven't
that's
really
a good question.
explored a lot of the blockchains too much, at least in the art space. I honestly, it's been kind of overwhelming because there's so much to jump into. I look at it as like kind of jumping on a moving treadmill, and everybody's already at like a running speed, and I'm just over here trying to like trip my way into a run. Um, so I'm trying to upload where I can. I think I've run into some stuff where people want me to put my stuff everywhere, and I'm just a little overwhelmed. I like to just be in my vibe and make music videos, and I try to get to it when I can.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
And that's a huge thing, man. Like that's seriously huge because I mean, so many people have experienced burnout, and that's why I was wondering about whether you minted anywhere or not. But for you to say that, like that's a very true thing. That's a very very true thing. I mean, I've I've in the last couple of weeks I've been running into burnout just trying to follow and pay attention to lots of stuff that's been going on, and like it's not even minting anything or creating anything. I'm just trying to fucking just trying to follow
Right.
along.
And I mean, as
Tough,
an artist for myself, like I'm at the very beginning of this, right? My journey started only in April, and really only in the beginning of June did I start establishing my world building. And so I'm still at a point telling my story and my characters, and I'm going to be doing a series coming up that's going to be on Escape. Um, of just kind of this place that I used to go to, lucid dreaming. But I'm building this world out like pieces at a time and dropping kind of hints through all of my stories. So I'm telling a much larger story. And the way that I look at it is like, who am I to anybody? You know what I mean? I'm just another guy just making art in the space. Like I'm nobody special. You know what I mean? I'm just out here trying to express myself. And if someone likes it, I'm like humbled by it. It really means like a lot to me. Even like every single like, I'm like, oh my God, this is so amazing that people, it like resonates with people. But I'm not out like trying to get followers or trying to get a following or anything. I just want to have cool art and enjoy my life and enjoy the people that are in my life. So I think when I get to a point, if it gets bigger and it really resonates with a lot of people, then I would consider like doing like dropping a collection of stuff that I've created. But until then, I just don't see the value in myself in that way until I've completed telling my story.
Well, I definitely think you should definitely stay your course for sure. You definitely have it figured out, and you know how you're going to control it to make it manageable for you and enjoyable for you.
Yeah.
Which is, yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
that's
I'm in
really
the creation phase right now, and
yeah.
I like love doing that, and so that's kind of like where all of my focus is.
It's kind of cool. Just a couple weeks ago, oh, actually last week, we had Humans of the Universe on, and she is a very new artist in general. Period. It's all very new for her, and I was Willie and I were talking back and forth. That's kind of cool. Like we haven't really talked to somebody who was in such an infancy, and out here making a difference. And you're kind of you're doing the same thing, where you're just you're fresh into this, and we're like kind of brand new. This must be, what is this, Baby Artist Week? Are we going to call it
I know,
Baby
right?
Artist
That's how I
Month.
feel sometimes. But
Emerging artist month.
Emerging. Yeah.
I like Baby Artist Week though. That's fine.
it paints it paints kind of a cool picture.
Yeah, and it's funny that there's this whole, I'm finding meeting a lot of people in the community in like a short time, and there's so many people from all over the world. I'm working with someone on a collaboration who lives in Sydney right now. We're doing a music video together. I did a like little short video because I really love Tierra Whack, and so I just did like a 30-second little snippet of a video for her, and one of her producers reached out and they're like, "Hey, do you like experimental hip hop?" I'm like, "I love everything. Like, do you want to do a collaboration music video for us?" I'm like, "I would love that." And I just am getting a lot of these requests now for collaborations, and I'm really open to doing collaborations because it's like challenging. It makes me work, with someone else, and that's kind of exciting. So it's cool and weird at the same time. There's people that have lots of opinions. I have my opinions. There's people that get upset apparently that of some of my opinions, and I'm like, wow, I didn't know that people were like that on X. Like, it's just there's all different types of groups. There's the people that are doing crypto, and there's people that are doing NFTs, and it's just so interesting how all of these different communities like overlap in different ways.
Do you like kind of with some of the collaborations that have been popping up? Do you like the fact that there's kind of a way that somebody wants envision something and then you can work with that or
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I this past weekend we did the Gen 48. I worked with Mason Storm, who's like amazing video to video artist. He was a finalist in their first Gen 48. So he was super talented. It was really exciting, and we worked off of like a script which I haven't done in like months. And so it was really challenging for me to like stick to the script and not like want to go into my normal crazy town. So it was fun, and each of them bring a different challenge and a different idea, and that's what I think is cool because not everything's ever going to be the same.
Yeah, right, for sure. That's that Gen 48. That was obviously that was a timed competition, right?
Yeah, 48 hours.
Oh, it was 48 hours.
Short
Okay.
minute video.
Wow, intense. Was there any sleep had by anybody?
There was some sleep had. Like I don't think a lot, but there was some. Yeah.
It wasn't.
And there was a lot of community building too. Like there was a lot of conversations like halfway through the competition. Everyone's kind of comparing notes and seeing how their progress was going. And I kind of love that it just organically happens. Like people want to communicate with each other and work together. And it's so interesting to see that just happen organically and not like in any sort of forced manner. Like artists are just super passionate about the space and very uplifting with each other.
And that's a beautiful thing. It's
Yeah, it's awesome.
It's
really
something.
cool.
I mean, I don't know because I was never part of traditional art circles, but I mean, I don't think it's. I think it's pretty unprecedented. Like, I don't think it happened back in the day, right? You didn't have oil painters all like hanging out and creating something together, right? Would have been a
No,
lot.
yeah, exactly, and it's it's amazing. I think now it's like just I've never seen anything like it, honestly. Like I've never seen a community of people just be so passionate and like helpful with each other that because it's just so contradictory to almost anything you see in society around us right now, and it's almost like a nice little respite. And it's around art, right? So that's the cool part. Like it's not even anything that's supposed to be political. It's supposed to be the appreciation of art and culture and the stories that people can tell, and that's what everyone kind of focuses on. So it's really uplifting.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It's beautiful, and I mean that's the, Willie and I started out in the Tezos. We're very Tezos forward. We don't stick with Tezos, but it just seems to be where we are because that's what we collect and that's where we've grown. And yeah, like the sharing that and the welcomingness of everything is just it's amazing and it's just really cool. Something that just never used to happen. It's nice to see.
Exactly.
And
Yeah.
especially in this day and age, it's very nice to see you. Like you said, it's very nice to see people coming together to work at something and just have a good time.
Yeah, exactly, and that's why when you see like the counterintuitive to that, it's like so off-putting. You're just like, whoa, okay, I'm just not gonna mess with that. So
When you
uh, people could just naturally gravitate towards certain people over others, and it's very uplifting otherwise.
when you um, when you started discovering the AI thing, um, when you started, I'm imagining you started digging around on Twitter. Was there um, artists working in AI that you followed, you tended to hang out with and look around for?
So I didn't really ever look on Twitter at all. I didn't have an account until I started doing this. I actually started. I was doing some marketing on TikTok, and I came across obviously A's video, and that really got me into it. And then I saw other artists, Lumlot, there's another friend in New York. She does really cool art, Blush Crypt, and so I watched these accounts, and they were very like specifically themed accounts, very like tight storytelling, very consistent, and whatever their thing was, it was like their thing, and everything that they produced was in that thing. And so I was like, wow, and it really resonated with me. And I was like, oh, I want to do that. And I thought then of that, that whole going back to my younger years and this enjoyment of music and color and like sensory elevation and wanted to just create more of that. So and they just kind of snowballed from there. And then after I started that in April, and then around June, I was like, okay, I kind of narrowed down what kind of style I want, what I want to do, and then I just kind of got rid of that whole old account, started brand new, scratch everything on all social medias as Blacklight, and have been doing that ever since.
And we're happy you are. Sorry, I was a little bit mesmerized. I'm on your Twitter right now, and I'm like mesmerized by some of the stuff I'm watching. It's like I don't even have the audio, and I'm just like sucked into it. I love it.
Yeah, I actually have my pinned tweet right now at the top there. I did 40 music videos last month, and so it's an hour and a half mixtape of all 40 videos.
Yeah.
If you don't like any of the songs on there, they're all listed with timestamps, so you can just skip to the next one if it's not your vibe. But I just wanted to, again, I'm going back to creating that space, right, where I just want to put something on in the background. I've got some really cool music. I have some weird visuals that are a little make you think, or just kind of wash over you with some visual ASMR at the end of the day, and that's just kind of the world that I'm building. And then I'll be working. This world is called Elam, and so I'm building towards that.
Elam.
What's the general music vibe that you create?
Oh man, it kind of goes. It shifts from day to day. I'm very into rhythm. So I grew up in South Florida in the '80s, so it was very rich culture down there. A lot of Cuban, Haitian, a lot of Dominican, Venezuelan influences. It's just that very rich, like kind of Miami Vice vibe is my feel. Anything that can make me groove a little bit. I don't mind dancing every once in a while in my living room. So, and then other times it's just thought provoking stuff. I get home at the end of the day and I'm just looking out the window, just kind of letting everything wash over me, and need a moment to just kind of take a moment. Music like that.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah, I took the mixtape. I took a listen to twice yesterday. Well, I had it playing. I had it playing. It wasn't actually like I just, but it was nice. It was very easily in the background. But of course, I always had to go over and go, well, what's on the screen? What's
Exactly.
going on over here? You're definitely a lot of the stuff that you're creating visually. I mean, and definitely audio wise as well. But I mean, the visually, I definitely feel needs to be grandiose. I mean, I really like it because what you have, don't you have that somewhere on your Twitter or something that if you're watching on a portable device,
Click it and flip it.
click it and flip it. Like I
Yep.
love that. It's fabulous. I've had it up on my big screen in the living room, so I mean I've been enjoying that. But I love it. The click it and flip it, just I mean love it. Willie, I do little promos when I have time for the space, and Willie's always telling me, no man, you got to do it the square format. You got to do it the 1x1 kind of thing, and I'm like, fuck, I hate it.
16 by 9, baby. Give me as much canvas as possible.
I know, but it's like I don't know. I wonder how often people miss shit with miss the big picture with your stuff by not flipping it sideways.
100%. I know
right?
for a fact it does. I look at my I mean, I work in marketing for a living, so I know about click through rate, all these things I'm supposed to be doing. I know all the tricks of the trade. I just don't use it like that. And I think like the way that social media has been used previously, I mean, look at where it's kind of gotten us up until this point. We tear each other apart practically. And I think now, post pandemic, and even just looking at spaces, I come in and just hear conversations that people from all over the world are having. And the one thing that resonates is everybody wants community. Everybody wants to be, finding their people and like enjoying their life. We got such a short time here as people. You just want to soak it up as much as you can and find your people that resonate with you and just enjoy it. And so
that's definitely a quote. We gotta put that onto the front of a T-shirt. That was you're right. You're so right. You're so right.
You know what I mean? And so if I have to, make a 2-minute video, and if people start following me and they like me and they take a second out of their day to watch it, that's great. If they don't, that's cool too. But I'm not like trying to chase likes or anything right now. I'm just I have a way to create something that I've had inside me for like 2 decades. It literally is not about the likes. It's about getting this stuff out. And I am a Taoist by nature. And one of the things in Taoism is about attracting and not chasing, and just being able to let go and not have that need to be validated. And as an artist, it's like very hard to be expressive repeatedly, publicly, over and over when you're telling a story. And everyone has their opinion, and everyone's got a comment about you, and everyone's going to think their things. And you just kind of have to block all that stuff out and just be authentically yourself as a creator. And that's what I try to do. So that's why I get so humbled when I see likes and stuff. I'm like, oh, sweet. But it's not like something that I get upset about if I don't get any, because at the end of the day, I'm being able to tell like my creative expression, and to have a platform to do that's just awesome.
It's definitely a healthier way to go about it. That's for sure.
Yeah.
And I mean, a worst case scenario, if this AI thing, audio visual thing doesn't work out for you, I think you could be a motivational speaker.
Thanks, man.
Pretty, pretty. Fuck. We're gonna sell this episode for a lot. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, no, it's refreshing to hear it. I mean, Willie and I, quite regularly. I mean, in this space in general, we are very fortunate to run into a lot of people they carry the same positive vibe thing. Like I just want to create. I don't give a shit about what's going on. Like I just want to create. Like how does it stress you out when people? I don't know if anybody really drops this to you, but do they start telling you that you're great? Like when people start inflating, does it bother you, or do you push that aside as well?
Yeah, I'm not like I don't know. I don't really. It's hard for me to process sometimes because I look at like other people that are creating stuff, and I'm like, wow, that's amazing. I can't even do that. I was like, I see people do such next level stuff that I'm just trying to keep up with them, and so I don't see it like that. I'll take the compliment, and that's what you're supposed to do. Just be polite, take the compliment. But it's. I just like being in a creative space, and I like sharing with other creative people because I don't know. I don't know why. I don't know what I get out of it.
Right.
It's just a release. It's a creative release from a long, stressful, life.
Yeah, yeah. Keep doing it. Keep doing it, man. We'll never intervene.
And I think that's the cool part about all of this is that there's people that have always wanted to make something, and think about the person who was like, that kid who had. I was one of those kids. People used to make fun of my drawings when I was a little kid, and I just stopped drawing because my hands were shaky, and so I couldn't draw anything normally. They're like, "What's wrong with you?" And it's like, I have really bad anxiety. Like, chill. And so, like, I just stopped drawing, and that's why I went to
But if you could
photography.
see what's in my head,
Yeah, exactly. And so
vision's
now,
great, but I just can't translate it.
yeah, yeah. And I think that's the cool thing with technology is like you can design a UI that it creates such a low barrier to entry that anyone can create those things. And it's not cheating or, taking shortcuts, or it's this whole argument of like it's not art. It's like if someone had to take the time to make that, like it takes time to make a video every day. You look at all these people that just did Gen 48 who are still exhausted and it's Tuesday. You can't tell me that those people didn't spend all of their time and heart and energy and passion to not create a story or something that's considered art. That whole argument is dead. And anyone that still has that argument is just an unserious person.
Yeah. No, and I think I do believe that in the last year and a half or so, we've definitely oh, I got shit. Sorry, I had shit playing in my background here. I think people are finally starting to realize that there's still lots of fighters and haters, but if anybody's tried it out and tried to do this, like they've got to realize that when you get fabulous outputs, like sometimes it really blows me away because like people will look at something that has been produced with AI that is just fucking off the hook amazing, and then they'll start tearing it down, and it's like no, I just sat here and watched you watch that with your jaw on the desk
to the floor.
Yeah, and then now you're going to cut it down because it's AI. But if I had told you it wasn't AI, it would have been a different story. Like, come on now, like just think about what you're saying for a second here. And it's like the stealing, that like where did the AI, where did the come from? Like, where did it get? It's like, okay, come on, right? Like seriously, everybody's been stealing shit forever. If you want to really put it down to that, but that's not right. Yeah. That artist had to pull that art out of that.
Exactly. And I think there's like a nuance to that is kind of glossed over right sometimes because there is a thing like artistic integrity, right? Salvador Dali is known as Salvador Dali because we can all when I say his name, you know who I'm talking about and envision his artwork. So there's something to be said for mimicking something or taking flattery in it. I think difference. This has been a lot of conversation in past weeks, and I've read a couple on it. Is where does that integrity level end, and where is it just like the free flow of expression, and where is IP? You know what I mean? Is IP even a thing anymore? Will it be a thing in 5 years from now? Does artistic integrity mean anything? You know, will those same artists respect someone like me or someone in this community who's making art every day? Will they ever be remembered in the same way that Rembrandt is remembered? And those are the ethical larger questions that get asked about it. And it's just a fascinating time to be at the forefront of that and to be able to have a seat and be part of that conversation.
Yeah, and definitely if you're creating a style, that definitely leaves it that you will be maybe possibly remembered a lot better, right? Just like you said, I think that's kind of what you're getting at, is that if you create, you create your vision, like I definitely know there's AI artists that we can look at something and go, oh, I know that was Kush. I know that was Quantum Spirit or whatever. Like yeah, as opposed to some of the folks who are dabbling in it and they're all over the place and you don't see anything. That's not to say that what they're creating is any less. They just haven't found that that one vibe that makes it their art.
Exactly. Yeah. Yep. Exactly.
Which I mean, is fine as well, because we have lots of artists that don't use AI, that don't have a set way of how they do things. So you can look at pieces and never really tell that you're looking at one of their pieces because they have so many different ways of doing things, right?
Yeah. And I love it. If someone tells me they hate my art, I actually kind of appreciate that, because then I'm like, hey, you had to form that opinion. And that's opinion is an emotion. So my art invoked emotion in you. So whether you like it or you hate it, I just appreciate you felt something.
Right. Just like they say, right? Whether you're talking good about me or bad about me, as long as you're talking about me.
Exactly.
As long as you're talking about me.
Keep talking about me.
I think
Yeah, no, it's super fun, and I just have loved really meeting like so many different community members and stuff, and it's been great.
so. In your IRL work, in marketing, the marketing that you do, is there a place for this? How does AI fall in there at all?
Yeah, so that's interesting. So I work in affiliate marketing and in call advertising. And so the way that a lot of that traffic is consumed starts obviously online. So there is actually a very strong market for it. But it's more of the boring practical applications that you don't see from like most artists, right? As this technology develops, there's going to be offshoots for people. So people that want to do advertising and do commercials, there's an offshoot for that. People that want to do 3 to 5 second little clips for like real estate or for insurance or for any type of advertising, there's going to be an offshoot for that. For artists, there's going to be obviously live entertainment uses a lot of this, TV shows, music videos, cartoons, movies. So there's going to be a lot of different opportunities for people. And that's the thing. I mean, you think about all of Gen 48, all of those are like 3,500 people that competed. That's across the entire globe. So, like, anyone can sign up for Gen 48. And if there's only 3,500 people and around 3,000 teams, that's a very small community of people that are in this space right now, learning the technology, taking the time to practice and get better. And these are the people that are going to be filling these jobs tomorrow. So it really is like an investment in your future to just take the time and learn it, because there will be so many opportunities from this. And that's why I think that's why a lot of artists don't take a competitive stance with each other, is because it's not a competition. We're all going to win. You're in right now, you're going to win.
Yeah, right. We're everybody's early still.
Yeah. I mean, this is AI just became a thing in all of our lives, a couple years ago, and to a serious point. So we're at like the infancy of this.
Yeah. No, I definitely do agree with that, and we've seen it with people that use it. Denver Donkey does a lot of real world advertisements, movies, production, and he uses it as a fast track to help him get jobs. right? Where he used to have to spend a huge pile of money and time and manpower to create presentations to go to somebody with. And now he uses AI to fast track that, and then after goes back, if he gets the job, he goes back into it to, he can fine tune it and actually do his production stuff, right? Which is kind of cool. I mean, there's if you're learning it now, everybody should stop jumping on it, and they should learn it, or not.
Yeah.
Leave the jobs for the rest of us, whatever. I would love to be 60 years old and going, well, kids, you should have learned the AI.
Yeah, and I mean that was my grandmother told me that. Yeah, I actually had that I think on one of my profiles at one point, and I vividly remember this. My grandmother, when I was really young, I think I was maybe like 8 or 9, and she was like, "You better learn the computers when you're older, because that's what it's going to be. Is the computers." And she was right. Like I did focus on that as a career path and growth opportunity, and she was spot on. So the AI is just a continuation of that in really every aspect.
Learn the tools, man. Learn the tools or get left behind.
Exactly. And
Well,
if you think like these large, production houses aren't doing it right now too, they are. I think there's just a more of a stronger push towards democratization of entertainment, and that's where the rubber's going to kind of hit the road. You're going to have funding to run a lot of this stuff, and these places that have the money for it are going to want things run a certain way. So there's gonna be definitely a meeting point at some point of traditional media methods and this new medium. It's kind of square peg round hole, and how is that gonna work together?
I know you're still very early in this, and you're doing it because you want to express yourself and get the stuff that's inside your head out. But do you hope that someday that this will be an income for you?
Oh, I would love it. Yeah. I mean, I have my day job now that I'm doing. I probably foresee that in the next couple of years I'll be doing something else, and I'm just kind of laying the foundation and groundwork now for that time down the road. I would love to play the Sphere, put my art up on the Sphere. I would make the trippiest shit.
All right, I think everybody would. I would love to just put a home movie on there. Willie's over there having dog fights going on. Place your bets. No, that's bad for me to say. I shouldn't say that. That's wrong. Well, the Sphere. I mean, come on. Everybody wants to be in the Sphere. Hell, I think Willie and I should be able to have a show in the Sphere.
See, there you go.
My big face up there. Hello. Love it. Totally. If you don't mind, I wanted to play one of the videos that you made. I think it was last week. Obviously the folks here will get to hear the audio. Hopefully in the recording, we'll be able to have it on YouTube in the visual. Take a few moments to listen to something that you've done. I've got Lovebird.
Okay. Yeah.
Queued up. If that's okay with you? Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Well, let's play. Let's take a moment and listen to some of the fruits of your labors.
When love and grace, you can't give me a drink on the same. Oh, oh, Christianity, oh yeah, eternally, only I, and I can't stay.
Night Train with Willie and Bits on WX8BK.
That track was Lovebirds by Black Light. I like it. The reason I picked that one is because when I'd first heard it, I left it kind of playing in my pocket, and I just really love the. I don't know. It's kind of like a Caribbean kind of vibe. I don't know. It was a sunny day on a beach kind of vibe to me.
Exactly. It's a vibe, right?
Yeah, it is. So
Yeah.
was there and you have to excuse me if there really was, but because I don't listen to lyrics very much, but was there actually lyrics in there, or was that just some singing that you pulled out of there? I
No, that's just like, so I just prompt. So what I do is I find that lyrics can be limiting sometimes. And when I listen to music, traditionally, I never really liked music with lyrics, because I want my brain to just go. I want to be able just to flow, and I find lyrics, I have to focus on the lyrics and I have to listen to a given story, which is fine. I love music that has lyrics. I make music that has lyrics, but sometimes and most of the time, I just want my brain to free flow. And so whenever I prompt in, I use Udio for music. I always prompt for an instrumental song and I just type in minimal lyrics. And I'll say minimal lyrics and I'll choose like a different language, or just minimal lyrics at all, and there's literally no lyrics. It's just humming, and it's the sound of words without actually being words.
Yes.
If that makes sense, it's
Yes.
almost like it's only something that AI can do. I mean, like, humans can make those sounds, but how am I going to convey to you to say "ayo" in a certain way?
Hey yo.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah, I was wondering the same thing, but it's interesting to hear the perspective from somebody else who's actually lyric blind, because Fitz is lyric blind. I
Yes.
thought he was the only one.
Yeah, no, I love it. It totally appealed to me, and I was like really listening hard, and I'm like, okay, is it just my brain doing this, or fucking is it?
Exactly, and I kind of like, there's been videos that I've done that I'll do surround sound, and what it'll do is the sound will go from one of the speakers to the other, back and forth. And so on some of my more trippy videos, it has this effect on them. And I'll be watching my videos and I'll be like, what? Am I high right now? And I'm like, oh, wait, this video, I forgot I put that sound on there. It's doing it on purpose. So I like those little like brain pokes, because if people are, it's like my way of being like, hey, I see you out there. You know what I mean? It's a little like kind of brain poke is the way I think about it.
And of
That's
course,
that's very early surround sound style,
Yeah.
like very late '60s, early '70s, where it just became a thing, and they would switch the mixer back and forth to be like, no, now it's coming out of the left. No, now it's coming out of the right, bro.
well, and of course, you had to have the center speaker with the two positives into it, so that you could get both of those.
Yep.
Right. Yep. And of course,
no, then that ruins the surround sound. Now you're back to mono.
no, you're not, man. It plays with it. Come on, don't you know your quadraphonics? We're gonna or with cinquaphonics.
Cinquaphonic. That's
Cinquaphonics.
racist, bro. No, I think that's racist.
No, that was five in Italian. Fuck you.
Oh,
Cinque.
oh.
Jesus, Willie. Wow. Okay, reset the room, folks. You are listening to WX8BK. This is the Night Train. We're hanging out with Black Light tonight, an audio-visual AI artist doing daily music video creations, which is kind of mind-blowing. It's cool that you've gotten your workflow to the point where, like you said, like you're able to whittle something that used to take hours and down into 45 minutes kind of thing now. That's crazy. Like, how does that feel to you? Do you think you'll get it? I guess it depends on what you're doing, whether you can get it even tighter.
It depends on the type of video that I'm doing. So like, there's some days where I want to like flex my skills a little bit, and I'm like, okay, I want to do something here, and I'm trying to do different experiments and stuff, because I'm still trying to figure out how to use all this stuff myself. And I'm like, oh, I wonder if I can do this, and how can I create this effect? And I think about like different movie styles, because I think we're getting past that like silent age of AI films, and we're getting into lip sync era now, and more live action, video to video. So it's like a really exciting kind of new chapter for AI filmmaking, and I just want to learn how to do it. How do I make these effects? What kind of effects can I make? Can I make something that's like really wild? I'm actually gonna put a video up right now. I can share it with you guys, and it's one I've been working on today. So I've been working over this weekend doing Gen 48. I was working on masking different layers of video. So now we're talking about not just like the whole video, but running that entire video through video to video and creating a different layer. And whether that layer is like an effects layer, if it's a lighting layer, and I'm creating these layered videos from the same film over and over.
Love that. That was
And
just
so that's what I've been working on today. And because it's new, video to video just got an upgrade with Runway right before the festival. And so I started to play with it, and I took a bunch of different animations from Luma, which has a keyframe feature. And so I looped a lot of these images together that I created in a seamless motion, put them into this video to video, did a lighting layer, and then I did another color layer. And so it's almost like an old school film using like different cellophane layers. So that's like I try to just do something different every day. Sometimes it's comfy. I want to learn a new workflow and get in there and have morphing images and do a more hands-on approach. So it's just kind of like what I'm feeling that day.
Dude, I'm just giggling and smiling over here because it's like video on video layers, and if you want to be like, I'm just like, you're like melting my head there just a little bit, like, just a little
When
bit.
you see it, you'll be like, I understand.
What? Yeah, no, it's great. Your enthusiasm is really fabulous. I just wanted to say, like,
Thanks.
the passion for what you're doing, and I mean, it comes out in the stuff that you've created. Like, I've been paying very close attention to your Twitter. I still miss stuff. I have to go back and like look and go, oh fuck, I didn't see that. But ever since Paul had suggested you come on, I've been paying attention to your Twitter because, in the Twitter world, the shit that you want doesn't pop up. It's always other stuff that pops up. So I have to make sure that I actively go and look for you every day and pay attention to it. But yeah, no, what you're creating, you definitely see that you have a love for it and you're putting a lot of care into it for sure. And
Yeah. I try to like I do care, and that's why, because it's like these things that I am trying to do and like experiment with and try to tell like different stories, like they mean things. The parts of my life have been built off of them, so I want to like make sure I respect myself enough to like create something that I can be proud of.
And you said the world. Did you say the world you're creating right now is called Elam?
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
So there's a whole really complicated story with this, and I'll get into it as I like develop more of my art. But it's essentially like a place that I used to go to when I was younger, and used to kind of lucid dream and constantly go back to the same place. Years later, when I was in college, I was hanging out with some friends, and we were doing some meditation things. I never knew what this place was called, and it's like, all right, think of this place, and I immediately thought of there. And they're like, name it. And I named it Elam, and it just came to my head just naturally. So I was like, I wonder if that's a real place. And they're like, you should look it up. And so it is a real place, and it's in, I think, Iran. And the geography is the exact same. Now, I'm like an American. I grew up in South Florida. Like, I've never been to that area, but I have been there in my dreams so many times that I can like visually describe it. And so I'm going to be telling the story of like going to this place through different periods in time, because every time I go there, it's like a different time period of what's happened there and what's in the region. So that's going to be what I'm kind of exploring, is that whole relationship, what there is there, and the dichotomy of my beliefs versus their beliefs, and just the world that I kind of have seen and been to.
Right. And I mean, how many artists want
And
to
you weren't like
live that?
you weren't like a geo searcher as a kid, where like
No, like
where
nothing like that. I just, yeah, no, I just.
I mean, you sound about our age, so I'm guessing that that you didn't like me. Google Earth wasn't a thing yet. You couldn't.
No, I
You
was
couldn't
too
be a
young. We
geo searcher.
didn't have any of that stuff. That was
It sounds,
before that stuff came after when I was already an adult. So that's how I found
Yeah.
out. I was able to look in my 20s, and I was like, where is this?
I thought you were gonna say Elon Musk. Elon. No,
Oh yeah.
never mind. That's bad.
But
Yeah. And everybody's out of the room. Good night, everybody. Bye. Yeah.
I was thinking E-Bomb's World.
Oh, that's a good callback.
Wow. That's vintage. Didn't that come up recently, Willie? Isn't that like the second time we've talked about E-Bomb or it's come up? in like the
Oh, I
last
don't know.
month.
Not with us.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we did one time.
Okay,
Maybe.
if you guys want, I can show you this one that I just finished. I've been working on it while we've been sitting here chatting.
Oh, so we kind of helped.
You did. Well, it was done. I was just finishing the editing while we were talking, but the creation was done.
Wait, sounds like you're trying to downplay this now. I think we had a big
But
part
yes, you were pivotal in the creation of this video.
in it. Cool. Are there people? You said you've gotten a little bit of a pushback because you haven't given praise to some of the OGs in the AI space. Is that? Didn't you mention?
Yeah,
something
that's
kind of
happened.
like that?
I actually got pushback initially in my real life. I just had people in my real life that just ethically didn't believe in what I was doing. And so that was like really shocking to me, to not have any support from, people that were around me because they just didn't believe in it. And so I'm like, okay, I'm going to have to just do this myself by myself. And I just sat down one day and just didn't get up from the computer from like hours. And then I think I didn't really ever ask for help from anybody. And the community is so helpful and so open. And I didn't really know about the X community. And so the fact that I wasn't being that because I didn't know that existed, I think was off putting to people. And then I have people now that just, I'll say something and they don't like it. And then they go on like multi-day tirades. And I'm like, it's literally not that important. Like I have an opinion just like anybody else.
Yeah.
If you don't like my opinion, scroll right on past it. You know what I mean? And I've started to get weird types of like interactions from people. And other than that, though, that's like a very small portion, I would say, 1% of my interactions with people. But everyone else has been pretty amazing. But you do get those weird interactions, and I speak my mind. You know what I mean? I don't owe anybody anything. If a lot of these services, I pay for them. Like I pay for them just like everybody else does. And you see how much content I'm creating when I'm paying for multiple programs. So I'm not like sitting here like, bumming around just doing things. I'm putting in the time and the effort and my expenses, and I look at it as something I'm trying to create. And if someone wants my respect, then earn it. If I have a conversation with you in an interaction and you're condescending, well, I don't have time for that. Like, sorry, I don't care about your, ego. I'm not here for your ego. I'm here to create art and tell my shit. If you don't like it, scroll past. I don't give a fuck. Block me. Like, I just want to be around good people and like good vibes.
Yeah.
And that's what I think about mostly.
Well, you got to understand how many some of those folks. I mean, don't have 9 to 5s like you and I.
And I'm busy. Yeah, like I work all day. Sometimes
yeah.
I don't get to sit down to do art until like 5 or 6 o'clock at night, and I'm like just coming up with concepts and stuff. I work a full-time job, and I have a pretty successful career. There's a reason why I'm anonymous. I don't want to be out there like that. I just want my art to speak for itself. And comes that is like I'm an adult. I don't have time for your petty bullshit. Like if you don't like me, like I said, scroll past that. It doesn't bother me.
I know if
you want to talk about me negatively, that doesn't bother me either. I really just don't care. That's the other side of the not wanting, not caring about the likes. I love it, and I am flattered by it, and I am humbled by it every day. But on the flip side of the coin, because I don't care about the likes, I also don't give a shit if you don't like me. So it's just that very kind of, I just try to live with that, like, my people will attract themselves to me. I don't need to chase anything else. And if people are attracted to me and what I'm doing, that's amazing. I want to keep growing. And I love the community that I've found. And there's so much networking happening. And even the fact that we're having this conversation, it's super cool. I was looking forward to this all day.
And right there, like this is almost like a lot of the stuff, the positive things that you've been saying and been laying out here. It's like I almost want to click that this one is for kids when I put it on YouTube because it's close. There's a lot of bad language, but it's close.
No, fuck them kids.
No, your positive vibe, and I hope it sticks. I mean, I hope it sticks too, because I mean, there's a lot.
I'm not going anywhere. That's the best part is I'm just getting started.
Oh shit! Here we go. How did you? Did Paul find you, or did you find Paul? I know Paul. I know Paul found
me.
you. Of course he did. Of course.
Yeah.
Paul's
All found me. Well, at the end of the day, so like at the end of the night, I recently I've been just kind of checking out spaces and seeing some of the art spaces and seeing what the community is like, because I did see that there was a community that was very like open and sharing. I'm like, okay, well, I'll try to participate in this and see what it's about and get to know the lay of the land, as it were. And I ran across some people that were on Tezos, and they were like, "You just do this," and I'm like, "Oh, okay." And that's why I've always done music videos, because it's just fun and easy. Like I could now, after this weekend, I know I could do like skits and stuff. And Mason, love him. He gave me the confidence to really like push myself, and I think that was like the best lesson I've had in 6 months. And I've met some really cool people. Dustin, I see him down here. He's been like a huge advocate of mine from like very early on, and I like can't thank him enough. Theodore, I just see like all these people. Some people in this room are just super cool. So, and you guys just giving me the opportunity to chat with you and get to know you.
It's important. I mean, when Paul says, "Hey guys, you should have this person on," we're like, you can't really argue with Paul. Paul's got a very good eye. Paul is a very passionate person in this space. Paul is a huge supporter. Paul is a creator. Paul's a game host. Like that dude, and his job, his real life job, is very super demanding of him, and he still does all of this crap. But I mean, his passion for supporting the people that come into this space and want to create and just want to put art out there, it's second to none. There's a lot of those peoples in this space, but I mean, if you mention Paul, who is a ghost, a lot of people go, "Oh yeah, he's got his fingers in this, he's got his fingers in that, he's doing this over here, he just bought that, he just did this." Like I don't even know when the dude he leaves our he'll occasionally he'll come into our space and
He's a
hang out.
ghost.
Yeah, well, right there you go. Oh, it's answer. Oh well, okay, just blow that out of the water. Anyways, uh,
Yeah, he's such an advocate for others that it's it's unmatched around here. Everyone's like, "Oh yeah, they're good," but like Paul's like, "No, they're good. They're good." Like it's pretty crazy.
so it's a really good thing that you came on the space and you're so great, because if you're a dick, that would be a really big.
But we just blame
Yeah,
Paul
I'm
anyway,
usually
so
not.
wouldn't be
I
that
give
bad.
everybody a chance. I have a rule in kind of just in life where it's called the rope. You just give people the rope. What they do with that rope is what they do with it. They either make a bridge of friendship towards you, or they hang them themselves. And so you just give people the rope, and that's how interactions and relationships work.
That's a very, what's really funny right there is that's a very Paul thing to say too, because Paul's always like, he's like, "I'm very good at giving people rope. It's just a matter of how quick they hang themselves with it," right? Like,
Yep.
yeah, it's funny.
I guess that's why he picked me. He
Right?
saw something in me that resonated.
Yeah, no, he has a good eye. I mean, you just look through his wallet. I mean, if folks have time, you look through Paul, who's a ghost wallet, and just see what he promotes and pushes, and every day on his feed. Like Paul's interested in a lot of great stuff. I can't even keep up with Paul. He's one of the ones that stresses me out, man. It's like, dude, I can't even keep up with you, and you're the one out here doing this shit.
Yeah.
Like, duh. And working a job and with a family. Like, wow. Fuck that. Fuck that. Do you ever? I guess there's no real. Well, there is ways to do it. Do you ever see yourself getting into the physical world again, doing paintings again, or anything like that, or do you think that this is somewhere that this is your happy spot and this is where you live, or who knows?
I feel like I can create more now than I could then. Like I can really bring the visions to life in a way that I couldn't before. And so I don't think I could go back at this point. Like there's too many opportunities. I will bring this AI world into the real world. There is so many mediums that's going to take place. I mean, we start looking at the new technologies. They're making like videos and holograms on mist in different places. There's so much cool stuff that's coming that we can do with this technology that it's just better, I think, in the long run. This is my happy spot.
Yeah, no, it's definitely, it's like, yeah, you did talk about that. I mean, how when you were painting or trying to do something in your hands, it just wasn't coming out of your head with your hands. So I mean, yeah, if you found, if this is it, then this is it.
Mm-hmm.
Heck yeah. I was gonna say, if you don't mind, I'd like to reach out to the audience, and if there's anybody out here that has any questions for you, about what they've heard tonight, or if they want to throw flowers or what have you. I was going to open it up if it's okay with you, of course.
Sure, yeah.
Okay, you can say no. It's quite fine. It's
No,
yours
I
for-
don't care.
Okay.
That's totally fine.
All right, so I'll just throw it out there to the audience. If anybody wants to pop up and has any questions for Blacklight or any concerns with what you've heard tonight, feel free to do so. If not, that's fine. We'll just continue on. We'll just keep running the train down the tracks, sometimes off the tracks. Speaking of
What
off,
does concern sound like, bitch?
I know, that's what I'm curious about.
what is what?
What would those concerns kind of sound like? What do you?
I
What
don't
are you
know. No,
anticipating
well,
there?
I'm just being inviting to the folks because there might be somebody that has concerns.
Like, you know what? Fuck you. I'm like, oh, okay.
That's more just a negativity than a concern.
I mean, yeah.
Concern would be like,
Well-
we really think you are addicted to AI. And
This is an
really,
intervention.
we really want to, have you see somebody about it?
See, there could be concerns. Exactly what I'm talking about, man. Exactly. You made me forget my fucking question now, Willie, but that was good. I like that. I like that. Okay, no, because we're gonna run off the tracks. I want to. So you mentioned Waken and Bacon, not as in bacon and eggs, but wake and bake. Are you an indica or a sativa guy, or does it even fucking matter?
Indica,
Okay.
solely.
First thing in the morning, drop. See, you're like myself. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
whatever. People are like,
I am a high functioning anxiety, so I need to like even myself out because I wake up and I'm terrified that I'm still alive, and then I just have to calm it down and then get into the groove. I have a high stress job, and so it's just something that keeps me kind of level and even keeled.
I love that. Oh my god, I love that. Like I've
What?
definitely
What makes advertising a high stress job?
It depends on the way it's set up. So the type of system that we have is running 24 hours a day and spending money. So we buy a lot of traffic and we sell traffic, and so it's a lot of constant money just being spent. And when you run a business and money is being spent 24 hours a day, it's a little nerve wracking.
Yeah. So it's almost closer to like a day trader. In that
Not
regard?
really, sort of, but not really. I really don't want to get into specifics, though.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I mean,
Yeah.
I was just curious. Like, you never think of that as being one of those high stress jobs.
Yeah, no, but when so I handle like operations and everything's online. So if anything ever goes down, I'm the guy that everyone has to go to. So I have to make sure the machine's running and it's running all the time.
Yeah.
So that's why whether it's an issue that happens like 3 a.m. or something happens, I'm the guy. So
stressful.
When the machine breaks down,
Yeah,
we
so-
break down.
Exactly. So I gotta make sure all my T's are crossed and my I's are dotted and everything's good.
And you got laser birds coming out with good vibe and music.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. It's not about me. It's about the pew pew.
Pew pew. Lily White popped up here. Lily White, how are you doing this evening?
It's morning for me. I'm in Japan, but I'm doing great, and I wanted to say
What?
hi. Yeah. hmm Things happen, I'm always somewhere. But I want to pop up and say hi, and it was really good to meet. I'm still not sure how to say your name, but
Just Blacklight.
Blacklight. Okay, that's a lot easier. It doesn't look like that. But it was a lot. It was nice to hear about what you're up to, and glad you found Tezos.
Yeah, thank you so much. And good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, I didn't know that. I must have missed that in one of the spaces where I was hanging out with Lily White in Test Town, I guess. Jesus. We're out of the loop. Thanks, Lily.
That's for sure.
Appreciate hearing you on your wake up in Japan. So let's go back to your dad. Blacklight, let's go back to your dad with the black light room. So was there a lot of the fuzzy velvet posters in there, or was it just a black light room with?
Oh yeah, the
Yeah.
the fuzzy velvet posters were like a staple, and they were all over.
Oh my god, so jealous! I used to have one of those rooms.
Yeah, like we would just like you would come home and close the door, and like we had like blackout curtains and everything. And so that room, when you turn those lights on, it was just like that purple light. And I always remember just like we had those like old beanbag things all over the on the floor, and I would just sit in there and like just put music on at the end of the day after like school, and just like lean my head back and just let the music kind of like wash over me. Just look around my room, have a moment to just like think and process. I've always been like a thinker. I always have moments where I'm just like lost in thought. Even talking to people sometimes it's a bad habit. But yeah, and I just it was a weird. It's just a weird like calming sensation. So just try to kind of create that and kind of create some of the fun vibes from that.
Yep, I love that. My mom bought me those posters back in the day at like garage sales. She would always bring them home. She's like, I had these. I had these when I was a little girl. It's like,
Yeah.
it's like, okay, all right, mom. And I was like, yeah, I love this shit. But when I was doing the little promo reel that I did for the show tonight, that's what I was printing your drink coaster out. And then I had this brilliant idea that I'm like, fuck, I better get the black lights and I'm going to see what I have that glows. And I had so much fun with that. Like, I still have the black light behind me right now. But I started, like, I was trying to figure out what printing filament I could print out that glowed that I had. And then I started realizing how much other shit in the world glows. Like, and I was just kind of walking around, and then I went out to the hallway and I like pulled the cord out, so I had to plug it in the hallway, and I was like walking around with it again. Man, the black light brings out so much stuff. I didn't, I'm really happy to say that when I went into the living room area, that there was no stains on the floor or anything. Like there'd been no murders in my house, which I'm pretty happy about. Pretty happy.
Yeah, exactly. There's no stains. You're covered there. Yeah, it's so funny because I always thought when I was a kid, I was like, these posters are so cool. And then I got in my 20s and I was like, these posters are so cool.
Yeah. I had a
Do
lot of.
you have one that's a favorite that stands out that you like still remember?
Favorite piece I've done or painting?
Blacklight poster.
I mean, the mushroom forest is like iconic.
That's very cush.
Yeah.
I had a
I
spider.
remember those Spencer. You'd go in Spencer's, and they used to sell them at Spencer's by like they would have all of them.
Yeah. God, I would really dig to have those again.
Right? I know. I've actually gone into some of those like kitsch stores now, and they don't have them anymore. I was like, man, you guys are missing out. These things were great. They had like they were that like they actually had velvet on them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, they were so, because all of mine were always, I mean, obviously my mom bought them from garage sales, so they were all fucked up. I mean, you could still buy them in stores back then, but we had no money, so mom was always buying. But I mean, hell, if they were glowing in the dark, it didn't matter what the edges looked like anymore.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
I had a spider. There was a big, like, vicious tarantula kind of spider that I had. That was my favorite one that I could think of. Yeah, touching them, because even if you just sat there and just like were looking at them, but like you're on your bed up against the wall and you could just like put your hand on one, just touch it for a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh,
you'd be like, there's just like a calming feeling to it.
Okay, who owns this technology, folks? Do we need to buy it from somebody? Let's start.
That's what I'm saying. I'm gonna just sell my artwork at some point and just buy the technology to just have black light holograms everywhere.
Right, we got to do it before Jack White gets onto it. We gotta blow shit up.
I like the idea.
Yeah, that's man. Like, okay, so I mean, like, this is what I talked about getting off the tracks. We're totally going off the tracks, but just for another moment. But so the house that I live in now, when I was in the last year of junior high and 3 years of high school, my family lived here, and when I got into high school, my mom's like, yeah, no, we're converting the garage into your bedroom because we're not fucking having you in the house anymore. You're just too out of control. So, of course, people would come over and party. And I had fluorescent tube lights in the roof of there, and I was a DJ, so I ended up grabbing 4 blacklight tubes, and I would stick them in my, when we were having parties, I would just stick those into into the roof of my room. And so people started adding to it. They started bringing glow paint over and painting everywhere. And then I had a buddy that worked at McDonald's, and they were giving away these little one-sheet stickers. They were like the treat of the week or something like that. But they had like little spaceships and moons and stars on them. Each of these, they were probably, 10 inches by 7 inches. And this one guy that worked there came over the one night on a Friday night after work, and he had like this box of them. So we did the whole roof in there in these things. We were all on mushrooms. And still to this day, I showed my ex-girlfriend before I booted her out of the house years ago. I said, guy, the one day I pulled up my black lights and I put them up in there, and then I called her. I'm like, come out here and check this out. And it fucking blew her mind. It blows my mind when I see it, because the time and the effort that we would have had to have put in to do it. Like when I think back to it, we had like an army of dudes doing it. But on my walls, I love it because all the fluorescent paint that stays clear. Right, and then you put those black lights in, and like all these messages. And I remember the first time I turned the light on, I'm like, oh, I don't know if I want anybody else to see some of this stuff anymore. Sorry.
Yeah, I had like another big influence of mine. Like when I was in college, we had the black lights like in our dorm, like not it was like dorm, it was like off-site dorm. So it was like apartments, but we put it in our apartment, and we would listen to DJ Shadow, and he would just be, on like 12 different decks and like just making so many samples. And he had this album, Live in Tune and On Time. And it was like a DVD that you could watch of this live performance he did in London. And the visuals on it were like incredible. And I think back on that, and I'm like, wow, I always thought back then, I was like, I want to make this someday. And I think that was like the appeal for me for AI. It's like, oh my God. And I instantly thought of that. And I still listen to that music today. And I'm like, oh man, I would love to just be in this world. And that's now where I'm at. So it's weird how you have these things that happen, and then years later, you now have the technology to essentially do what you want. It's just so cool.
You are the cool kid now. You are the cool kid now.
Thank you. I think everybody else is pretty swell too.
Right. And just something that when Willie was asking you the question earlier, is there something that you've created so far that really speaks to you, that you think is something that you is the number one go-to that people should search for and find to look at?
How to be a cult leader.
Sounds good.
Yeah, that's the one you want to watch.
Okay. All right. I actually think I did watch that, now that I think about that.
Yeah.
Because I think
that's a really good one.
Oh yeah, wasn't that was like super recent, was it not? Like a couple days ago?
Yeah. So I'll preface this: the sound for that comes from death in a car crash, and they made this really cool album, and it's music on the front end, and it's interjected with like random pop culture moments that have happened in like public discourse, and it goes from everything to like Oprah having cult members on her show to like they went to like a nudist colony, and it's just weird stuff. And one of them was this cult, and that's where the sounds come from. So I took all of that data and just kind of, or all the sounds from that, and just chopped it all the way up to create essentially a handbook on how to become a cult leader. And it's very poignant for our socio-political climate. And so I encourage everybody to give it a watch.
Wait, is that kind of the thing though? Then if we all watch it, and then we're all going to be like in your cult?
I don't know, maybe.
Fuck. I'm torn about this.
It's an instructional video. It's a how-to. It's a public service.
Oh, so it won't work for men anyways, because we won't pay attention to it. So okay.
Exactly.
No worries.
Yeah, just let it wash over you.
Holy shit. My mouse just died on my... Okay, I'm not clicking on it now. My mouse just died on my computer.
Wait, I think that's the number one saying for cult leaders. Just let it wash over you. Just give it a watch. Just let it wash over you.
The Kool-Aid is delicious.
Yeah.
Although you haven't yelled and screamed and belittled us once this space, so
I honestly, guys, like the way I live my life is I really do not like to have friction with other people at all. So whenever I encounter resistance from somebody, I just go the other way as much as I can, because it's just not worth my time. Like I'm not going to win over everybody, and that's totally fine.
Holy shit. You're like Fendel. Fendel's not in here tonight, but you must be an honorary Canadian too, for Christ's sake.
I actually did date somebody in Canada for about 4 years in Vancouver, and you Canadians are a
you
great
wouldn't know her.
bunch.
She goes to a different school. She's from Canada.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, you Canadians are a wild bunch.
Well, that's right. We'll stab you and we'll say sorry.
Sorry.
Sorry, eh?
Sorry about that.
Sorry about that, eh?
Oh, sorry, you're bleeding.
Yeah, here's a cootie for your troubles.
Here's some all-dressed chips.
Next time, don't run into my knife, eh?
Right.
Oh,
Throw them a couple toonies and call it good.
That's right. Couple toonies. Oh fuck. I gotta send you, Willie. When I send you your care package, you need a loony and a toonie.
What the
Yep,
hell is that? Is
Looney
that
to
money?
Toonie.
That's money, right?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
money.
I do know that one. I'm like, what the fuck? Okay, that one took me a minute though.
Right?
That's I always say this whenever I go to the States. It's like when I go to the States, I'll put my hand in the pocket and I'll feel a bunch of bills in there, and I'll be like, "Oh yeah, shit, man, I'm loaded with cash." Because up here, the smallest bill we have is a 5.
Yeah.
Right now.
So
when
if you feel a bunch of bills, you're
Yeah,
like,
you
"Ooh,
go-
I'm doing good."
you're like, I either got $25 or I got like $120, like right on, like, and then you pull it out and it's like fucking ones. I got $5. But
Yeah.
up here you put your hand in your pocket and it's like you feel a big chunk of change. You're like, yeah, I got like $100.
And they're not even small coins either. They're like obnoxiously, unnecessarily big coins.
It's probably to promote you to spend them, get them out of your pocket. Like,
Yeah.
as soon as
They look cool though.
Yeah.
The Toonie looks cool.
they hurt too
Do
when
they-
you throw them at
Did,
somebody.
did they? Does your money still have the queen on it now that she's dead, or is King Charles or whatever? the
They
fuck his name
haven't
is on there now?
changed. It is changing. I don't know if they've changed any of the denominations yet, or any of the bills or anything.
It just
yet.
hasn't changed yet.
No, it just hasn't changed yet. But yes, I do recall them showing the design they're going to start phasing in. I mean, I've been trying for the Willie and bits, but they don't want to do the $3 bill.
Damn it.
I know. I'm going to keep pushing it. It'll happen, Willie. It'll happen. We're just not there yet. Even if it happens on our deathbed, as long as it happens, that's the important thing. Blacklight, what have you got coming up? Are you just going to keep producing? Do you got anything big coming up that we should pay attention for?
I am starting production stuff for this series for Elam. I am working with the Hedger team. I'm in their creative program, so I'm excited for some of the things that they have coming up. I'm going to be utilizing that for my videos. I have a couple projects that I can't quite talk about yet, but will be coming up in the next month or so. So there's a couple of betas that are coming up, which are pretty cool. So there's a lot of really cool stuff coming up in the space, in a lot of different mediums, both like online and offline. That's all I can say.
We'll be paying attention. Give the Twitter a follow, kids. Something I wanted to touch on earlier and many times tonight. So IRL music. What do you listen to? What's your jam? I mean, you mentioned
I'll go to my
instrumentals.
playlist. I'll tell you what I'm listening to right now. So
We're going to the playlist. We're heading on over right now. That was
listening to DJ Tons, Tierra Wick. Let's see what else is in here. Lakota, Mern.
Is that MERN or MURN?
MYRNE.
Oh shit, I'm right off there.
Yeah, the song Peter's Theme. I think it's a memorial piece, but it's pretty good.
You know what's kind of crazy is quite often when this question gets asked, whether it's by me or somebody else, I'm always amazed. I mean, I DJ'd for a long time in my life, and it's always amazing how much more music out there is that you've never heard of before. Like you just dropped like it's not to say that I haven't heard anything from these folks, but it's like right off the bat I look at that and go, I don't know. But I wrote it down because I'm gonna.
I had a stint of time where I wrote for. I was a ghostwriter for some music publications. So I worked for a producer who would get a lot of albums and tracks and stuff, and would write articles about the music and help get them out. So I have like a pretty extensive music repertoire that I kind of pull from. And that's why, like, I love creating music because I've been in that world for so long. And I think that's I talked about this before, but I played piano growing up, and I used to have to practice every day. And so, like, this whole like kind of music creation thing has just been in my life since I was like a 5-year-old. And so a lot of this has been built off of that.
This music, I've really been holding back with touching the music AI stuff because I like to create. I used to love to create musical. I could never play an instrument worth a shit. Well, I played the trumpet for 7 or 8 years. I played for 7 or 8 years. I played guitar here and there a little bit, but Like to be able to really play stuff, I never could do that. And I mean this. So when I got into DJing, and then eventually when I learned how to create from all of that stuff after many years, then that was kind of cool. And but it was funny because when I started doing my DJing stuff, back in the late '90s, mid '90s, it was still shunned upon. It's funny because it was shunned upon, right? Because it was the whole sampling thing, right? And it was like it wasn't your creation. You didn't do this. This is other shit that you're just ripping off. And it's really funny. It kind of just fucking popped in my head that people used to say that about that back then. Well, I guess they kind of still do now, but it was really bad back then. But yeah, the AI stuff, I'm so worried I'm going to fall so deep down the rabbit hole.
I've fallen deep into it. It's one of those things where you can rely on the AI as much or as little as you want. And if you go in with it and you take music that you've created and you look at AI as a finishing tool, giving it a little bit of those tweaks, maybe catch something or modify something that is more aesthetically pleasing, why not, give it a go? And that's to say that you've done all the stems yourself, all of the editing. You can take that and put that into AI and let it be a finishing tool for you. You can not use it at all. You can rely on it more heavily. Like I've done times where I've just tapped out a beat on my desk and then have uploaded that and then built a song around that. Like just something like just a rhythm that I like.
God damn.
It's wild. It's wild what you can do now.
And that's another one of those points that the kids have to listen to. Kids, did you just hear that? Just tap on the desk and make a beat.
Do you still play the piano at all? Do you feed any of that into it? Do you incorporate any?
I haven't played the piano and probably no, I don't. Long story short, I don't play piano anymore. I could if I go up to it once in a while. I could like fiddle, but it's an instrument for me. I had to practice it like a lot. It was one of those things I practiced like every day, and it was when I was young. So I could play a little bit of it, but it would go off really really badly at the end.
And then we'd all be sitting here going, "That was amazing."
Right, but I can read sheet music, and I know music theory and stuff. I studied it for about 10 years.
So when you're doing audio, the music that you're putting in, I mean, are you giving it actual? Hey, are you out of here? Are you saying bye, Jay? Talk to you later if you are, man. Talk to you later, buddy. Take care. When you're doing the music, are you giving suggestions as to what musicians or bands you want, or are you just sticking with genres?
Nope, I just do genres. Instruments. I don't even do genres that often, to be honest. I do instruments and I do emotional adjectives. So I'll use things like bittersweet, commiserate, um, just more complex emotions and see. I try to test it and see what it can do. Like, what does the AI think commiserating sounds like? What does AI think anxiety sounds like? What does an AI think a headache sounds like? And I'll use bits of that and different stems of that, and then build off of those sounds with another thing. So I'll say one of those things. They'll make a song. I'm like, ooh, I really like this bass line, but I want to take everything else out. So I'll download the bass line and then I'll put a rhythm to it and then re-upload it and then see what it does with that. And I just, the same way you do with images, you just kind of sit there and tinker. I do the same thing with music.
Now I want to know what depressed calypso steel drum sounds like.
See, exactly.
Oh.
Like, what does an upset pineapple sound like? Write me a song about an upset pineapple and just see what it does. Like, I did a song yesterday, so we did.
He lives in a pineapple under the sea.
I clicked off thirds of our video. I had so much extra content that we didn't use for Gen 48, and I was like, "Ooh, make a song about all the clips that didn't get." And here's the script from the video. Pull out parts of it. And just made a music video for me for that, and I just was able to use all those clips. I was like, perfect.
And it worked really well too.
And it was a good song too. I was like, this is great. I've actually listened to it today a couple times.
Yeah, no, for sure. Your stuff is definitely something. Whenever I hit play, like absolutely, it has to go through a couple times for me. Like I have to hear it all twice because it's just like there's stuff. It's like I listen to it in general, and then I pay attention to it, and I'm like, fuck yeah, I really love this. And it's like I said the other day, there was a couple of your tracks that I just left them repeating in my pocket as I was working in the backyard, just the same song. And I'm like,
Mhm.
no, this works. I mean, to me, that's tried, tested, and true as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, yeah. I just like that very. I want to have that connection with someone, through sound, and the visuals are really just like a bonus.
Um, oh fuck! I just had a thought just leave my head just immediately as I said.
My dog is whining, so I have to take him downstairs while we're talking.
Oh sure. What kind of dog? Oh, what
But
kind
I
of dog
might
you got?
disconnect. If I do, I'll definitely hop back up. But
Of course.
I just have to go on an elevator.
What kind of dog you got?
I have a Min Pin Dachshund mix. He's like a little old man.
Oh.
Yeah.
I got an old man dachshund.
Yeah, he's great. He doesn't do anything all day except for when he has to go out, and then he doesn't leave me alone. And so when that happens, I'm like, okay, it's time. So we have a mutually beneficial relationship. I've had him for about 8 years. He's my little buddy.
Oh, that's awesome. Can we ask the name if you don't want, or do you have like a non-doxing name
His
for him?
Dabby.
Gabby?
It's like a little dab.
Oh,
Yeah.
Dabby.
Yep.
Not Dobby, folks. That would
Not
be,
Dobby.
That's
Dabby.
that's
Dabby.
That's copyright. We can't. No Dobby.
Can't be that. No. No. When I got him, he was like 4 pounds, and he was in really rough shape, and he had a little brown fur. I was like, you look like a dab. So I just named him Dabby.
Oh, so now he's back in good shape. What does he weigh? 5 pounds?
No, now he's about 18 pounds. He's a little
I'd
taller.
say yeah, should be 15, 18.
Sorry.
He's a great dog, though.
I have a lab, so I mean, I'm making fun of you guys with the little dogs over there. It does not matter. They're buddies, nonetheless. They're important parts of the family.
Yeah, exactly.
We have a single stair in our house, right? The living room steps down one stair, right? And my wife's like, she's like, you need to make him ramp. Yeah, he's having problems getting up the ramp or getting up the stair. And I'm like, okay. So I spent the last 3 days 3D printing a ramp for him, and he's a dog, so of course he's not gonna fucking use it. He's like, no, I'm not gonna touch that thing. I'm gonna go around and try to jump up on this stair still.
Yeah, no, that's how it works, Dad.
Yeah, I'm like, I should know better. Use the whole fucking whole roll of PLA. I'm like, yeah, whatever. At least I proved her wrong.
That's what it's all about. Don't tell the HR department I said that. Lily White, what's going on? You got your hand up.
Oh yeah. I got lost a little while because I was off watching some of Blacklight's videos. So I just wanted to come back and say, wow, this some really great stuff. And yeah, I hadn't really seen them before, so it was really cool to go look at them.
Thank you so much.
I know, it's like a little hidden gem. Like, it's just like Blacklight. I just want to feel like we're right here on the cusp. We're on the dawn of the Blacklight revolution.
I would like to think that. That'd be great.
Right? Hopefully.
I mean, who wouldn't want to make money doing something that you love to do, and to be able to be creative every day? That's just like a dream come true.
No, I'm a blue collar worker. My hopes and dreams are broken, so that's,
Yeah, I say that I'm young enough to make mistakes, but I'm too old to actually do them.
right?
Yeah.
Oh shit. Nah, fuck. We could do it. That's like I said, Willie. I mean, I don't care if we're 60 years old and that's when we get our deal. That's good enough for me. 70 years old, 80. I'll do it at 80 if they want Willie and Bits doing the senile night train.
I don't even have a response to that.
And I think actually you asked me what I have coming up. So I'm going to do probably another mixtape. So probably the end of September,
Yeah.
I'll do all of my music videos in a September mixtape. So I'm really kind of digging the long form content that you can just kind of put on the TV and chill, because that's what I've been doing with it.
Yeah, I like that idea.
Yeah.
I like that long form.
No,
Yeah, so probably be doing like monthly mixtapes.
I'm actually going to I
Are you
pinned that
planning
up
on
the top.
minting anything soon, or any of these projects coming up? Are you planning on minting them at all?
Not
or-
yet. I had kind of an overarching thing to just go do like 1 year of creating first before doing anything, because I'm still so new in it. I just want to create some value and show value, because that's what I want to provide.
yeah, I think I think when you do start, or if you do start kind of minting regularly, I think you'll have a good following of people kind of chomping at the bit there,
Well, yeah, especially because Paul, who is a
ready to
ghost, has,
collect.
especially because Paul's the only one that has a minted piece by him. That's, fuck Paul.
Yeah, Paul's got the one of one right now.
Paul. God damn it.
But that's also why. So there's also been a whole conversation around artists that put like their what do you call it, like signature, I guess, on it, or handle on it. There's some artists in the space that are putting their name on stuff because their work is getting taken. And by all means, I'm not famous, or does anybody care enough to steal my work. But like an artist signs a painting, I'm gonna, put my name on my work. So all of my stuff has kind of my little signature on it. But some people are totally against that. They want just totally clean content without, any signatures or any sort of watermark on it.
Yeah, no, I noticed that about your stuff, and I agree with it 100% because an artist is going to sign their work, right? Like if you went and saw like come on, like people have these amazing paintings that they've done, and they have a fucking signature in the bottom. Why shouldn't you have your watermark there? That only makes sense. Makes total sense to me.
Yeah, exactly my thoughts on it. Yep. So.
Nope, I believe that. It's yours, God damn it. It just actually reminds me when I went to TezCon in Seattle. My PFP, a friend of ours, Mike Nash, did the piece, and I actually got it done in a die cut sticker. So the blue in the background was kind of gone, the bluey green gone, and I did a die cut sticker, and then I think actually we said that we should get him to sign it, or maybe I did. Anyways, but I reached up to him after and I said, "Hey man, can you please do a couple versions of a signature on this piece? Because like if I'm making stickers out of it, I think it's really important that you have your signature on it because it's a fucking mic, like it's your art piece, right? Like, so yeah, that's totally important. That's the way it should be.
Yeah,
you're starting.
That's how I feel too.
Everybody's gonna go. Everybody later on is gonna go, dude. Blacklight was right. They are.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't think it's about like, if I'm doing a movie or something, and it's going to be showcased exclusively somewhere, I'm not going to need to do that, right? Because it'll be the place that you go to watch it. So that's a different form of content. But for what I'm doing right now, like posting on social media, it's a public forum. Yeah, my name's going on it. Like I paid to make it, so I can put my name on it if I feel like it.
Well, and I mean,
yeah, and if it's not minted somewhere, then somebody could just as easily pull it down and mint it and not give you credit, right?
Mm-hmm.
As where like if it was minted, there's protections and stuff against copy minting in place to where they kind of search other blockchains, and if you see someone on a blockchain, it's really easy to get your stuff taken down because you're like, well, no, I already minted it over here. But without that, like who's really kind of regulating anything like that if it's not sold and not minted, and like who's protecting that IP? You're talking about IP earlier, but like if you're not out there actively protecting an IP, so I mean I think that's the easiest way to protect it is just put your name on it.
Like, exactly. So it's really just like, and I look at it as just like hedging my bets. Like if IP isn't a thing in the future, then okay. Then it's not. I'm not gonna have to worry about it. But at least I did what I did to kind of cover my bets. Because if IP is a thing, I have it on a public forum with a timestamp on there. It's kind of like how the postal service used to be the poor man's copyright. Social media is the poor man's copyright now. Think about how many times these documents have been brought into court as evidence. So it's a public forum. It's time stamped. It's got my signature on it. It came from my account.
Yeah.
It's mine.
if it's really you.
Exactly.
I don't think IP is going anywhere.
I don't think so
Disney
either.
and their $100 billion worth, a couple $100 billion worth, they're gonna have some lawyers that are gonna keep that alive for a little while.
And I think it's important for artists to be able to like have this space to create their stories. You know what I mean? Imagine well, there's really weird examples you could use, but say you think about like Harry Potter, and if everything that came out about J.K. Rowling's and her mold house before then, you know, no one would be going to see Harry Potter, and which is like a movie that like a series that like has made, you know, millions and kids and, you know, adults are like obsessed with. So I think it's important for artists to be able to like tell their story, I guess, before you impede on like mimicking it. But you know, everyone has a different opinion on it, and it's all good.
Oh, there's always going to be opinions,
I
motherfucker.
know opinions are like assholes. Everyone's got one, and some people are too.
I was just going to say, I think more people have opinions than assholes.
Yeah, very true.
Oh shit! Did did Dabby get? Did Dabby let a poop out?
He did. Yeah, he did. He was a good boy.
Nice. Good.
We're getting ready to get back up in the elevator. So
If I
if
had
you
a,
wanted to do another music segment, that would cover our time, and you can check out the song from today.
do some Everlong, just fucking. Of course, right when you said that, I'm like, yeah, I should get back to that, and then I'm fucking clicking, and my computer's just dogging it. The one from today. Did I miss that one today? Where the hell was it? Scroll.
I just put it right up in the top there. It's right in the middle.
Oh, is it the one that you just dropped just now? Just like you were saying. Okay, yeah. All right, I see it right there. Holy shit, 45 minutes ago. That was like yesterday. It's too late now. You should do something new. Just kidding. Okay.
I'm working on it. Get
All
the
right.
dog out first.
All right. Here we go. This one is called Petals, and there's a little bit of a swirly thing going on. Oh shit! You know what? I think I have your YouTube. I think I have the playlist in the background playing. Ah ha ha. All right, let me get back to this. All right, this one's called Petals. Let's drop it. Hey, yeah. Oh, that was beautiful. That was some dirty grooves
It's a
going
vibe.
on there. It was Petals by our guest of honor, Blacklight. I liked it. It's been up there for 45 minutes.
Feeling some Studio 54 in there.
Dirty,
Yeah.
little dirty, sexy vibe. Oh, I mean, there was no stiff movements there. That was all like fluid up in here. I was dancing, I was grooving. My dog was looking at me like an idiot. What he always does. I dance like nobody's watching, and that's how it goes. That's how it goes. Cool. Well, folks, I think we need to start bringing her back into the station. We cut it off like right a second, but we should start winding on the train, bringing it back in for sure. This has been a really great conversation. I've enjoyed those super much. I can't believe that 2 weeks in a row we have had such fresh artist vibes, like early. They still have that new artist smell, Willie.
Yeah. New art smell, like opening a brand new tube of acrylic.
Right?
Yes, I don't know. I've never done that, but but I have huff markers though, so
It
maybe that's
smells
what
dank.
it's like.
It smells dank.
Dank. Dank's a heavy word. It's a heavy word. Like dank makes you feel like heavy. It's heavy.
Heavy, yeah. It's a good one.
Cool, man. Yeah, man. Thank you very much for coming out and hanging out with us tonight. I mean,
Yeah,
it's
thanks
been,
for having me, guys. It's been a lot of fun.
It's been super great.
Yeah, I'm really excited to follow you, man, because like Blacklight and psychedelic is one of my favorite styles. So I'm really digging your stuff.
Yeah, thanks, man. If you've
I haven't
got
had a chance
request,
to listen
let
to
me
it
know.
tonight, so.
Oh yeah,
now,
you're in for a journey, my friend. You're gonna have so much fun.
Hearing lives and know about the mixtape. I'm gonna take on and
nice.
Hit the map.
You gotta hit the dive up. How do you partake? Blacklight? Do you vape it? Do you bong it? Yeah.
Bong, baby, bong.
Everybody's. I mean, the bong. Like seriously, like the bong is like
it's a classic.
It is.
I mean, it's like tried and true. Can't go wrong. Doesn't hurt your throat. Throw some ice in there, nice and cool.
Well, now that I've mixed my Dynavap into my bong, it's a whole different story. I'm like, oh shit,
like a whole new world.
Yeah, it's a whole new world. It's so clean.
It's shut down Willie style. That's what that is. No, it's cool. So no, it's a good way to go. Bong is very. You know what? I need to get one. I mean, I have had one in years, and I even looked not too long ago, probably in about July. I looked around and I was trying to find shit to build one out of, but it was the tubing. That's where I ended. I was like, okay, well, I can probably manifest from some tubing out of something else. And then, well, maybe I'll 3D print it. And I'm like, well, I don't need microplastics.
You want glass, man. You want all that microplastics in your fucking smoke.
Maybe that's part of it. We're doing, I mean, just,
Well, you're definitely not going to live till 80 and do a show at 80 when you're no way.
What do you mean? How many cigarette smokers do you know that have smoked for 90 years daily, constantly? Like, don't tell me that.
I don't know any cigarette smokers.
Oh, well. Okay, well.
Not anymore, at least. They're all dead.
Okay, bad. All right. Yeah, Blacklight, thank you very much. If there's anything that we can ever help you with, if there's any, if our small platform can help you out in any way, shape, or form, if there's something you want to promote, if there's something you want to say, if you want to just come and hang out with us, you're more welcome to. We've really enjoyed this conversation tonight.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate it. And choo-choo.
Choo-choo. Hell yeah. Your stuff is, I'm just happy to, we're excited Paul on is next, honestly. Like, Paul's been a friend of the show for quite a while. He's actually kind of a little, silent booking department. He pops up every once in a while with something, and we don't say no to Paul, because Paul, like we said earlier, has a very good eye. So we're stoked to have him on, and I'm glad that he pointed us in your direction. I've been happy I've given you a follow. I don't feel any of my time has been wasted, any of the art pieces or things put out in the last few weeks that I've been looking at, that's for sure. You did a great job.
Oh, thanks so much. I appreciate it.
Anything else you wanted to say before we bring the
No.
back from the stage?
Keep rocking, guys. Enjoy your lives.
I will, man. Your positive attitude is just, it's awesome. I really do enjoy it when we have folks that are just so passionate and so positive. And the fucks of you are like zero, which just...
And they literally are. That's it's a little bit of a curse sometimes. My girlfriend can care a little bit more sometimes. I'm like, I don't.
You don't.
No, I think you're doing my job, and I hope that nothing in this world taints that in any shape or form. Because definitely,
I love it. Thanks so much, guys. You've been great.
I get a real like Annie vibe as far as like I'm gonna tell my story. This is how I'm gonna tell it. I don't care if anybody follows or doesn't follow. I'm gonna tell. That's what I'm gonna do. And it's been very successful for him.
Yeah. And if you do follow, we're gonna have a great time.
Yeah.
We're all going to Elon.
Yeah, it's gonna be a blast.
Yeah, man. Cool. It's been a really great time. Hope you have a rainy time out in Portland. For next year. It's all
time of year. Cold and gray. It's my time of year. I have to feel guilty about just staying in and making stuff on my computer all day. I'm like, oh look, it's crappy. Darn.
Yeah, that's what I was saying at the beginning of the show. I've been dying for that. I want old winter to come just so I can say, oh, I didn't go out today, but I didn't have to because it was minus fucking whatever the hell it was.
Yeah.
Right?
Just let me know when that depression is done.
Ooh, we'll do the depression app tomorrow.
Oh my god, I'm so excited. Let's do it. Cool, man. Thank you very much for sharing with us. We really appreciate you very much. As I said, the always yours. If you want back for anything, please feel free to do so. Right on. Folks, it's been a great night. If you're listening on the recording, you were listening earlier tonight, thank you very much for being here. Really, anything you want to close out with before we
check those collab funnel pieces. That's about it.
Heck yeah. I pinned it up at top. It's up there somewhere, the collab funnel, the link to all of our collab pieces up there top. Please do go over and check them out. Some really great pieces there. And they are still
it's going to get wild, and I workshop in another give back on it. So check those out.
We're gonna do a giveaway. We're gonna do a swag pack away actually here probably next week. I think I gotta talk to you. We do it. We need to get some swag out. We got swag here. We gotta all out too. So make sure we do that as well. We got the collab pieces. You can always find us at WXAK.com. It'll lead us to you to our YouTube. It'll lead you to our object. You can go and check it out. You can go those pieces, see what we are doing next week. We will be here at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific, with our guest Paul, who is a legend in space. He's a creator, he is a game host, and just an all-around amazing supporter of the community. Following that on October 1st, we have Lawrence Fuller. That's going to be an amazing show as well. We are really super to have Lawrence Fuller here. Should be good times to be. Headquarters pieces are archived. Oh, wait a minute. What have I got here? And it won't come up. We got all of our spaces archived. Well, most of our spaces are archived on YouTube too, if you want to check that out. So make sure you do head on over there. Innovative came up. Oh, was that a pocket push? What you got going on, man? How you doing?
Oh, I left the E-Bombs World link. When everybody leaves, they can check it out from the 90s.
Or is it in the
I don't know.
machine?
I don't know. But yeah, it's there.
It's there. It's in the bubble down below.
Yeah, yeah. It's by a different era.
Absolutely.
Do I got to download an escape browser?
It's Navigator 2.0.
There you go.
Oh man, dude, disc.
Escape Navigator. Man, I was so hyped when 2.0 came out. Oh, it was fastest.
I miss dial-up. I like to hear that sound. I fucking get on my internet. So, all right, check out the link.
Yeah. I made a pager meme today, and I haven't gotten any likes on it. I think it was too sensitive of a subject, I guess.
Oh Jesus, I saw that. Well, it's only sensitive if you're wearing the pager, I guess. Okay, we should end there. Thanks, Innovative. Always appreciate you, man. Your memes. Gillen, I don't want to click on the E-Bomb link. I don't know if I really want to or not.
Yeah, I don't know.
But you know I'm gonna as soon as I finish
I'll
this.
check it out.
As soon as I finish this, you know I am. All right, folks. We'll be back next week. We've been for over 2 years interviewing the artists about our journey, and I want to say to everybody who's in here listening and to that we appreciate you very much. You've taken time. Who muted? Did you mute us?
I muted everybody.
Oh,
I was trying to scroll.
All right. As I was saying, everybody here is taking the time of their own personal lives to come in here and hang out with us tonight. Paul just shows up and revealed it. Looked like he was here the whole time because he was here at the beginning and he's here at the end. But that's how it works. Just kidding. We do appreciate taking time out of your lives to come here and spend time with us. We say that out of the bottom of our hearts and with absolute the most love that we simply can. Come back and visit us again. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. And see you next time down the road. Trains come back and stay. Good night, everybody.
And it's actually one of the things, and I was streaming the props I have been for the past 3 years, that this space is one of the only places on Earth or in the universe or whatever that you can get to know somebody's soul, their blood, sweat, and tears without having all these micro judgments of age, race, gender, color, nationality, geography, all this stuff. You can people and their souls without making up your mind about somebody. And I think that's one of the most beautiful things about Web3.